man. When anything that should be simple or should be just an easy discussion may not go that.
One question. What if you miss?
I won't.
Just one question. What if you miss?
I won't.
Yeah. Yeah, we have been too long. We're catching up.
My mic's on, so there's that. Hey, my mic's there now, though. Ooh, baby. Hold on. Pong, yeah, do a real quick check mic for me. I'm about to pull this up.
Mic check,
on my
mic check, 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Mic
excuse
check, 1, 2, 3. How is everybody today? Mic check, 1, 2.
My Pong sounds all right on my end, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know. He may be slightly loud, but let me know if I need to.
Let me know. I can turn it down, or
I can also adjust my mic. So keep that in mind. Ghost says, hear y'all loud and clear. Let me make sure that, what is the time saying on YouTube right now?
Right now it's like 13
something?
13:20. 13:25.
13:25. All right, bet. So 13:30 we went live. Okay, bet. That's what I like to see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you beautiful freaking people, man. I'm trying not to cuss in the first like 30 or so minutes or whatever that YouTube algorithm be saying that you need to do to get your content a little bit further out there. Trying. I ain't perfect, but real quick, this is why I like having the chat up. Now, again, no tea, no shade, no to anybody, but I'll be having the chat up and y'all be distracted me sometimes. I'll be reading what y'all be talking about. And I just find that such a fantastic part of it. Because the chat just don't ever stop. Like, it's just constant engagement. People are kind of catching up with each other. We have been away for, I want to say, almost 2 weeks. We were just away for a week. So excuse that.
1 week off. Yeah.
There's that. So getting back into it. I mean, again, we did kind of wrap up. Not even kind of. We did wrap up our Summer Games Fest kind of bonanza that we had going on. Talked about the different games that we were interested in. Chrono Odyssey actually ended up releasing their playtest, which I told myself I was going to wait. And hey, if you're in the Horde of War tier, whenever I drop a video, because I've been doing that recently, hey, you get it right then. Instead of 6 or 12 hours later, however I've been setting that up. I've been doing a little bit of that extra as well, kind of doing like a lunch with steel kind of section where I just take something in the moment, how I'm feeling, straight off the phone, and just upload it to everywhere, essentially. My channel, Living Split Screen, and on TikTok and stuff like that. So we just, been chopping it up and talking about the stuff that's been happening all week. Like, the ROG Ally X, the Xbox version of it is not, it's not a console, and people arguing back and forth about what's a console and what's a PC. And people, again, saying that Xbox is dead this week with the announcement that AMD's partnership with Microsoft, and them iterating that they were going to make a console, but
they're just building PCs.
Okay, well, maybe that's all they are. Again, that's something I've been pitching to, but I get you. We see what is going on. Crow says, Chrono flop. I won't say it's a Chrono flop. Hold on here. Why is my gameplay chopping up? Maybe it was just that section? Interesting.
Maybe.
All right, I'm a fast forward a bit because I don't like when the gameplay chops up. Might as well not even play no gameplay. But, I'll definitely touch on Chrono Odyssey a little bit. I'll give you a little bit. I felt like I was blind. I'll tell you about what that means in a bit, man. But other than that, Stellar Blade's been the main thing on the plate, so I'll definitely get into that as well. And outside of that, it's just getting excited for Mecha Break. Releases July 1st. This is a good way to start off the month of July, the B-Day month. Getting into some mecha action. Again, my most anticipated multiplayer game of the year currently. I have a lot of excitement for it, man. A lot of potential in it. So anyway, enough of the shenanigans, because we'll definitely get into games and stuff. And what's up?
Before we do that, Steele,
what you got?
Can I take us off topic?
Go ahead.
Topic real quick.
Hey, you know about that. What's up?
I got a random observation, and I just want to know. Maybe it's regional. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's generational. Maybe it's not. I've got some theories, but maybe the chat can help out here too. Let me know if you've noticed this in your area, or if this was ever a thing in your area. So up in the Midwest, and obviously specifically Minnesota, we go through 6-8 months of winter, right? Okay. It's being a little dramatic, but it's about right? But back, and still for me, when it started to become springtime and summertime, right? And you're driving around again. Remember, I spend 2 hours a day roughly in the car. Okay. Plus, so I see a lot of drivers, and I see a lot of cars every single day. So this is an observation that I've had, a random observation that I've been making for the past couple years, but I've been paying attention to this year. So we come out of springtime, summertime. Back in the day, everybody steal. Well, okay, let's not say everybody. You know how I don't deal in absolutes like the Sith. But let's say a lot of people, as you were driving around, windows would be down, Steele, and music playing. Music playing from everybody's cars. Now, one of the things that is an obvious that kids will never know what it's like is way back in the day before, music was, in our phones, and we could have it, plugged into our car. And even when CDs were big, people still listened to the radio. And one thing that would happen would be that you'd be driving, you pull up to a stoplight, and a car next to you, or a car 2 or 3 ahead of you, windows down, same radio station, same top 40 song, everybody singing, everybody blasting. People would notice, like, oh shit, they got the same song on, and be like, yeah, what's going on today? Nobody drives with their windows down anymore, Steele. Nobody. Like, I'm talking
Not
like,
seemingly, okay.
Again, maybe it's just my area, but nobody drives it with their windows down. And again, I'm not talking about the big sub days with the bass booming and all that kind of stuff. We still got a little bit of that, but not much.
That's what we have down here.
That's different. Sure. Okay, well, that's fine. But what I'm saying, it's still around up here too. But what I'm saying is, we just had normal people too that didn't have big subs driving around with their windows down. You used to have Jeeps.
Just playing regular music,
playing regular music, blasting music, having a good time because it was summertime, because it was warm out. You wanted that fresh air.
You know what it is?
I'm not talking about the 100-degree days. I'm not talking about...
It's global warming.
I got a theory, so go ahead. Oh, God.
It's all because of global warming. Everybody's too hot now to be riding around with the windows down, causing all that drag, wasting gas, and to have your music blasting. Everybody's so sensitive. You have people that look over at you and be like, oh, why you got that music so loud? Why you got to be so ignorant all the time? You disturbing the peace.
It is wild though, still, because I'm not even messing around. Like those first days of spring and summer, like this week has been really warm. Like I was telling Steele behind the scenes, last week was in the 50s and it rained for 4 days straight. It was terrible. It was not summer. But this week, now today, we're going to be 97 and humid. This is Minnesota. So whatever, this is how we roll. But like yesterday, it was nice, like, mid 80s, whatever else. I'm telling you, back in the day, Steele, and it wasn't just young people, it was older people. A couple of my theories are, number one, people are in more climate controlled areas now, whether it's the offices or homes, all have central air. Offices, everybody has gotten soft. And nobody likes the outside air anymore. Everybody wants to have their windows rolled up and have the air conditioning on. Whereas back in the day, again, air conditioning's been around since I think like the late 40s.
Been around for a while, yeah.
Early 50s. No, they had them like way back. And it didn't become more standard until late 70s, early 80s, and then it started becoming standard in cars. But I'm just saying, like back in the day, older, younger generation didn't matter. People had their windows down, like they were enjoying. And again, this is Minnesota because we don't get this weather for very long, right? So it was something that everybody kind of did. But man, that has changed. Second of all, my second theory is everybody's got fucking AirPods in.
Yeah.
Everybody's got earbuds in. Everybody's just jamming out, not using their car stereos. Like that's the other thing. But I'm telling you, I even saw a couple Jeeps this morning driving around tops off because it was like 80 degrees this morning, right? Well, before like 6 o'clock in the morning, it's like 80 degrees. So there's a couple Jeeps driving around without tops on, no music playing. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, this is like summertime. Where's your jams? Like, this is like the time. Like, it's just an old guy observation, but I think it's really weird because back in the day, like I said, you would pull up at stoplights or you'd be driving around, hear people with the same song on because you're all listening to the radio and all look over at each other and be like, yeah, let's go. Like, it's just so different now. Everybody's in their own little fucking worlds now, man. And like, nobody's enjoying it. I'm just sitting here, fucking sunroof open, windows down, fucking radio cranked. I ruined all of our swearing, so sorry about that.
Right. I said we tried. I didn't say it was going to be perfect.
I know, but I should have kept that. I've got a pretty good filter because I got a dad filter. I don't swear around kids, so I'm pretty good at it. So, anyways, but yeah, I'm enjoying the freaking weather, man. And it's like everybody else, windows rolled up, all uptight, no love whatsoever, no fun. But okay.
I don't know, man. Like in the South, it's not quite like that. You do just still get people who, because I mean, down here, I don't know. Do you guys have like a regulation for your cars and stuff? Like you have to keep them like yearly. You have to do like check-ins for your vehicles and stuff like that. Because I know some states have that.
No. We used to have like the emissions test.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that because we don't have that down here, but I know there's a lot of states that do still. So like getting that perspective from people, but so you'll have a lot of like shitty cars with like playing live music and stuff like that, or just like just regular ass people, stuff. But I will say it's not like it used to be for sure. And again, I know I was being a little bit funny about the whole global warming thing, but I don't know whether it is the heat or what the case is. Again, things are just too expensive. Can't be wasting gas like that. We're riding around with the windows down. I don't know.
People are honestly thinking about that shit.
It could be the music. It could also just be the music. That could be something that plays into, hey, maybe the music doesn't hit as hard. So not everybody's trying to have that like outgoing experience. You know what I mean? Like, but I think down here we still, especially during the summer, I think we still get it enough, especially like, again, I live like 15 minutes away from the beach. You know what I'm saying? Essentially. Yeah. Well, more like 20 or so. But on the way there, you do get that. But I have noticed over the last decade or so, you definitely do see more people riding around with the windows up, AC, just kind of keeping to themselves, and just kind of minding their business. So it's just, I mean, I don't know. I think it's definitely different from different places. I think in Florida, it's definitely different, especially if you're closer to the beach because you have more of those types of people. People come down here for like retirement or vacation, or it's the vacation retirement hotspot. So you get all types of different people and different types of families and stuff coming out here, along with just people from Atlanta, Georgia, just stuff like that, Carolinas and whatnot. So I don't know, man. That may be, just where you're at kind of thing. But it is something, you do have a point though. You do have a point. It's not as much as it was previously, unless you're like with the young folks, because the young folks do that. Because when I go get my daughter from school, or like, especially my oldest, they pulling off, windows down, bumping music, being
get that up here with the kids, bro.
Yeah. They do that.
I just don't know. But I see people in the chat saying some people are still doing it. I see people that are still doing it. So there are people in the chat. Ghost Wolf says in Eastern Oklahoma, a lot of people still do that. That's cool to hear, man. 3-Bit says he doesn't want to give cops any excuse to pull me over. I mean, I guess that's it's. The cops aren't even like that anymore in my area. They've toned. I used to get pulled over all the fucking time.
I used to get pulled over for my exhaust all the fucking time. This shit was annoying.
Bro. The brothers could be basing as loud as they wanted to and never got touched by the cops. But the white kid who was basing, I used to get pulled over all the freaking time. That ain't even a fucking joke. Like, that's how it used to be up here. But cops have totally chilled out up here. Like, again, we're this very progressive state. So they just hands off on everything now. They don't care about tint no more. We used to get pulled over for tint all the time. They don't care about that and shit no more. They don't care about loud. And again, I don't have subs in my car. I'm just blasting the factory fucking stereo in a Honda Civic, right? It's no big deal. It's a treble. But I'm just saying cops just don't do that. But I understand if you are in an area where the cops are uptight about that shit. I get that too. But I don't get it. Nixie says, you're right, Pong, but music is trash now and heavy rotation from the stations made us creatures of habit. Nixie, and I agree with your statement. Again, I dislike 95% of
I would say
so,
to add on to your point, I do think that's probably an effect that phones have had on us, right?
Right.
I have noticed, especially for myself, there's a lot of times where I will get in the car and I won't be listening to nothing. Or because I do have an earbud in, maybe I'm listening to a podcast, maybe I'm going to run up to the store, stuff like
and that's
that.
What I was talking about. Everybody's wearing pods.
Yeah. There is a lot of that going on. You know what I mean? Yeah. People's trying to stay in tune with stuff. You got your own thing going on. Maybe you don't want to have it on the car speaker because you're about to get out. You know what I mean? I know that's the thing for me. It's like, I just want to stay connected. So as soon as I pull up, I can hop out, go in the store, come back. Especially when
my
quick
headphones
runs.
automatically swip. My headphones.
Mine do too. But it's just like it's one of those things where it's like I don't always like it swapping over. I don't know. I'm just weird like that.
Where that could be.
Yeah, I'm for real. Like it's weird. It's crazy. It's super wild.
Well, no, and to your point, like I would have been expecting people to have their windows down blasting podcasts, right? It wasn't like people who listened to AM back in the day, talk radio, or blasting talk radio out of their cars. Like that wasn't a thing. I think you're right, though. I think that is part of my theory as well. Just the pods and having everything on your phone has changed that dynamic. To Nixie's 100%. Point, Nixie, the only thing I'll say about that is it's not even about, like I said, the radio station thing is done. Like that's not what I'm even talking about. Like the radio station's been done now for over 12 years. Like that's just not a thing anymore. Still
playing. I still find it crazy when I tune in to a radio station and they're like actually doing the radio. You're like, okay. Right.
And there's still money to be made there somehow, some way. And I don't know how. But anyways, I just look at it as even if you're just because all I do is blast nostalgic music. I mean, I'm blasting 80s, like I'm blasting techno, I'm blasting, you name it. I
listen to modern shit too.
So I just blast all that stuff. And I go back to my parents, right? Because we used to go to car shows all the time because my parents built muscle cars, right? So we used to go to car shows all the time. Well, they would blast Beach Boys, right? They would blast Rolling Stones, like they would blast all the music from which I still do too, but they would blast all that music, even though there was current stuff on the radio, right? But the old people, it's always been a thing where eventually you usually get to an age where the music doesn't sound good anymore. And you go back to the old shit and you go, yeah, this is real music. I will argue that this time around, it's like very, very true. But again, that's been an argument that's been made by other generations. I just think it's wild that nobody enjoys. Even if you take away the music, like just having a good time blasting your music, not everybody likes loud music. I'm cool with that, whatever. But even just rolling down your windows when it gets warm outside and letting the fresh air come in seems to be like a total, like people just don't want it. And like, I understand if you're going to dinner, trust me, been married twice. If you're going to dinner, girl's all done up. She doesn't want her hair messy. Like that shit, I totally get. Totally understand. But just every day driving around, get that fresh air in your car, bro. We're cooped up in offices and homes all the freaking time. To me, I want that fresh air. Sorry, this has got a lot longer than I thought it was going to be a conversation. It's just an old guy observation as I've been driving around going, nobody does this shit no more.
Not like that, man. But it's definitely something that still happens in the South. I mean, I do it on the way to work. I'll put the windows down, turn some music on, and like just get in the zone or whatever the case. And I've always been like that. But I don't know, man. I guess it does definitely depend. I think phones have definitely influenced us in a way that it's an extreme positive, but it's also the convenience factor of them has taken away a lot. Right. It's trying to be we're also in a rush to go everywhere too nowadays. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know what I mean? When I first started driving, that was one of the first things that I always did before I went anywhere. What song am I playing? You know what I mean? Right. And I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum where there is plenty of, the problem with music nowadays is that the good music you have to search for. Now, rock, I don't know what happened to rock music. I'll just be completely frank with you. That hasn't aged well since 2010, at least. You know what I mean? Like everything before 2010 is perfect. After,
Yeah,
I don't know. You starting to get, because you still got your good bands in there. You still got your Linkin Park.
It's all
you got
genres,
Nine Inch
bro.
Nails. You still got. I think
It's all genres.
rap and hip hop has been phenomenal for me.
Garbage.
I get everybody else who may have a different opinion. Hey, people love this shit. It's the most influential culture in the world. So
I was at the
it's working.
startup. You don't have to
I
tell
like
me
it.
I was at the
I
startup,
like it.
but I think though, Steel, it has gotten beyond. I think it's just become cool to listen to it more than it is actually good.
It also
So,
depends.
but
It
again-
also depends because it
But
depends
again,
on what you're listening
I
to.
will never claim to be the expert. I listened to shit way back in the day,
Mhm.
and I slowly stopped listening to it. But the lyrics and the shit that they talk about now is garbage, bro. It's just complete trash, garbage to me, and I can't do it. So
Yeah, again, that's why it comes down.
and
to
I don't
just
get into the battling.
what
I
you're
don't
tuning
care
in.
about that shit. Like I went through the whole East Coast, West Coast thing, right? I've been through that shit, right? It
It's
was just
deeper than
it was
that,
played out
but
back in the day. It's
That's
played
surface
out
level
now.
shit.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
the- that's
but
the- that's
but,
the
but look
surface
what it
level
did for
shit that gets
Kendrick.
shared.
But look at what it did for Kendrick.
I mean, but you're always going to have your rappers who do that. And Kendrick is a phenomenal artist. He's a phenomenal rapper.
Garbage. He's garbage.
Nah, you can't say
Trash.
that. You haven't done your
Trash.
research. You haven't done your research. You're not on game saying that. That doesn't make a remote bit of sense. When every rapper in existence has co-signed him, that isn't dead.
Well, yeah, of course they're gonna.
He's
prop up their own.
a better
They're
rapper
gonna
than
prop
Eminem
up their
will
own
ever be.
genre. They're gonna prop up their own genre no matter what. That's always been done through the music industry.
I mean,
the old
but
heads,
again,
the old heads prop up the new heads a lot of times.
But the old heads are also very adamant about who they don't like or who don't rap as well. And that's still an ongoing conversation. But I'm also somebody who doesn't think that Eminem makes good music. So that's just me.
That's fine with me. I don't have a problem.
You know what I'm
with
saying? So it's like I don't think any of his music's been enjoyable since the Eminem show back in the day. You know what
fine.
my name is, Slim
Zero
Shady,
problem with you
Superman, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
the way that it's been for me. Like that just didn't land. So it's like I get the generation behind me not liking the music of the day. Although again, having that conversation could also be interesting because there's always the ups and downs and whatnot. But you gotta find you do definitely have to do a lot more like searching nowadays for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Fahim, you heard me. You heard what I said.
okay.
I don't think Eminem does not make good music, bro. There's nothing that I want to. I don't want to put any of his music back on.
I think that.
Eminem
true
can rap. He
talent-
can rap his ass off.
True talent has been pushed to the side, and everybody's created.
Yeah. Everything's
No,
more melodic
everybody's
stuff.
created, and that no, everybody's created, meaning the popularity is created. Everything is formulated and created, and that includes Kendrick. That includes all of them, and that goes across the board on all genres. Okay, everybody who's popular now has been created. It was back in the day. Talent was found.
That's
and then-
dismissing
and
the
nurtured.
talent, though, man.
No.
That's dismissing the talent. Kendrick's talented. J. Cole's talented. Drake is a talented artist. You don't have to like their music, but to say that they're not
How many
talented
people are
is
behind
something
them
completely
still?
different.
How many people are behind them?
They have a team, but they're not
How big are
nobody's
their
writing
teams?
their music and doing all the stuff for them. Drake that's a different conversation.
Bro, the talent they have, right, is to be an on-beat lyricist, right? To be unique
They write their
in
own
delivery.
They write their rhymes. Kendrick
They
writes
got
his
a
rhymes.
fucking
J. Cole
team,
writes his
bro.
rhymes.
Bro, they got a team.
No, you can't. No, that's
Bro.
inaccurate. That's inaccurate.
Bro.
That's inaccurate. That for them. Okay, for their bigger songs, yes, just like Michael did back in the day, just like all the R&B singers did in the day. It's the same thing.
No, that's
far as
not
that
true.
goes.
Go back and look at the credits. That's not true. There wasn't
Bro.
teams still. Maybe one person or two people.
They had.
max.
If we're talking about rappers, there are still rappers rapping today. Their lyrics that they wrote down, not their team,
Sure.
is their lyrics.
But the
that
current
they wrote.
day music scene is created. It's not natural. It's completely 100% created. Who gets to be popular and who doesn't nowadays? There are.
I agree with
artists
some of that.
Certainly do break through. There are
I agree with
certainly
some of
artists
that.
that break through, but
But I do feel like it
it is
dismisses
so
people's talent.
controlled. I'm not saying they don't necessarily have talent, Steel. They have a specific type of talent, but overall talent, nowhere's near what the old school had. Nowhere's near any genre. I'm not just talking about rap. I'm talking about any genre. There's no comparison anymore People can have very specific talents that make them desirable for that certain genre, but the rest of it is all created by all corporate. Period. Point blank. End of story. It's done. That started long ago.
To a certain
That
degree.
started long ago. Anyways.
This
Went a whole nother way.
The closest that we have to that talent today is Beyonce. That's the closest.
Created.
Until you see
Created.
shows,
she is a performer.
She still put the work.
She is a performer.
Yeah, she is. But
She's a
still put in
performer.
work.
She's a performer. Right.
Michael Jackson was a
Created,
performer too. He was. You
But
could say
the
he was
music,
great.
but because the music and the singing was natural, and that was all talent.
But
No
they're all natural too.
No, they're not. What the fuck? What?
Oh,
Have you seen the studios nowadays? Have you seen what they do, Steele? It is not. They're voice syncing half of their shows now. That was a no-no back in the day. Milli Vanilli got canceled completely.
That wasn't a
because
no
of
for
it.
everybody.
Bro, back in the day, it was an absolute no-no. Nowadays, come on, bro. Have you seen Katy Perry on tour? Are you fucking
She
kidding
doesn't
me?
count. No, man. That's I don't
Bull,
like
you
Katy Perry.
can't wipe people you don't personally like off the map and go, oh, that doesn't count. She's one of the biggest performers out there. Has made oodles. Has massive amounts of fan steel.
So look who you're bringing into the conversation, though. Katy Perry. What are we talking about?
Okay. All right. Protect steel. Cover.
You're talking about
Take those
Katy
bullets.
Perry. Look what are we doing?
I'm talking about the industry as a whole.
No, we're not.
And
We're
again,
not.
it's a-
We're not
the entire
comparing
music
music to games as a cruiser. We're having an overall conversation and having a generational conversation with music. Pog's not as in tune because he's locked back into the '80s right now, and his '80s and '90s,
early
back.
2000s.
He doesn't want to move forward from
and go
there.
back further.
So, but
No, I'm being
I hear
real
you.
about the
I hear
music, the music industry, and why the music industry has become what it's become. There is no way, Steele, you can honestly say the music industry is as good a place as it used to be. There's
No, I'm not saying that. But I'm
But then you got to.
the artist that you're speaking to, though, that's the problem
you
with
have to
being so
recognize.
disconnected that you're uninformed. Because at that point, if we're talking about music for sure, and these are artists that I have followed from the very beginning, since they have come out, when they did not have a team, when they had to rely on themselves, when they were underground artists. Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick, these are artists who nobody knew of until they put their talent on the table. Drake, more or less Canadian. He came from a special circumstance, more TV related. Drake's has been a whole different conversation up to this day, but it's kind of hard to disprove that he hasn't been a generational talent in itself. He's not Michael Jackson. I'm not saying like he's even comparable to those things as far as that art form goes. Like there's nobody we have today is Prince as an example, right? Which is why those are examples of timeless music. You know what I mean? Like, and yes, we don't get as many artists nowadays who make that timeless music. But even back then, they had a team behind them making that music. Michael Jackson was more involved in the same way that Drake is involved with his music. You want to say Ice Cube as an example? He had a team behind him. He was rapping but he was writing his own shit and spitting it. Kendrick is doing a lot of that same thing today. LL, even if you want to dig into, he was spitting his own shit. LL had a team behind him too. He's talked about that. You know what I mean? Like the old heads have talked
not
about
a comparable team, Steele. I didn't say
because you're also talking about, but you're also talking about the technology moving things forward.
No.
As well.
We're talking about corporate. We're talking about the money, Steele. We're talking about corporate. Taylor Swift is a natural talent. You can go back and listen to her early albums.
Taylor Swift is a talent.
She is a natural talent singer and not a bad guitarist. She can play.
Yeah. She has a talent.
Okay.
She's talent.
And you go back to her listener.
But she's not a performer. She's not a good performer, though.
What she is now was created, Steele. 1,000% artificially created.
But she also has the rights to all her music, which is not something that she would have had back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well,
so it's like she has
talking about something different, though. But now you talk about something different. That's not true for every single artist either.
No, but they're also waking, because the industry has taken advantage of them for so long as well, which is a known thing. They are finding ways to. And again, I'm not saying it's all perfect, but they're trying to figure it out. In my overall point to what I mentioned earlier, the music is there, just like the games are there as an example, right? Now we can definitely reel it back in. Just like there's 1,800, what was it, a month or was it a year, Pawn, that we mentioned before about games that release on Steam?
18,000.
18,000. Was that a month or was it a year?
No, it was last year, 2024.
Okay, if there's, let's just say let's lowball the number.
That's 1,500 games. That's 1,500 games a month.
If you have 1,500 games a month releasing, right?
Yeah.
Just like we were talking about the music, there's a lot of music that's lost in the shuffle, right? There's obviously a lot of games that are fucking lost in the shuffle too, and you continuously seeing the industry contract in some of the same ways that we see in music. But let's keep it on gaming now, because I want to get the people focused in. Because we were having a good conversation there. I like talking about it, because I'm not like on one side versus the other. Kind of like how I am as far as like when we take this RTS approach when it comes to gaming and whatnot. But just like Microsoft is about to let go of thousands of more people because of what we're seeing happen in the industry with technology now coming in, AI coming in, whatever is happening behind the scenes, there is a huge contraction happening because there is too much fucking content out there. There's not enough people to play it. The people who do invest and do play these games are, again, like we've talked about all the time. I think we've been saying this for at least 3 years. It's less than 5% of the people who play these new games that drop, that are in the gaming community, that aren't on mobile or anything like that. So when you're taking that into consideration as well, there's a large effect that I think there's gonna be a lot of things, man. As far as entertainment goes, and it's such a, especially as we move further into the digital era as well, which is why, again, I can see the vision that Microsoft is trying to put to the forefront. Shout out to Oh No, It's Alex. He did a solid video, and actually, again, he referenced the Power On documentary, which again I'm going to recommend to people to watch, which is an Xbox documentary that was on Netflix, telling them about how Xbox essentially got into the business. Where, bro, even back then, they didn't have a PlayStation freaking what's it called, a prototype or whatever the case, but they were able to pop a PlayStation 1 game into their Windows created device and were able to get the game to run. What Microsoft back then was trying to make some of these similar moves before gaming had took it the direction that it has. And now you see them making adjustments and possibly maybe being the ones to lead the charge of us actually getting digital ownership. So there's a lot that's on the table out here. It's unknown, and I think it's going to be extremely interesting for our form of entertainment that we enjoy, whether it be music, whether it be games, whether it be whatever, man. It's just there's a lot. Decado said there's no 9 Inch Nails, Outcast. What is RATM? Wrath of the Machine? No, that's not Wrath of the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine. That was close. And Wu-Tang. Nah, there's definitely nothing like 9 Inch Nails or Outkast.
No, Wacko, no dudes drive around jamming to Taylor Swift with their windows down. You are correct about that.
That's what I said.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed that segment. Sorry to take you guys off the rails. I was not expecting to go there. I was expecting to steal to defend his generational music, but that's normal. We all do that shit, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, as you should. I think it's always a good conversation. I mean, again, my mom says the same stuff. It is what it is.
Oh, it's been time and time. I legit though think that if somebody were to debate it, anybody who takes from early to mid 2000s and back and says that since that point music is not anywhere near what it used to be, I think would have a good chance of winning. I don't think that there's people that can honestly defend again, you certainly have valid points with very specific artists that maybe are still doing it the old way or more like the old way. Yeah. But because of what corporations have done, because of what streaming has done, obviously to the artists themselves, in fact, and taking away even more money still, you were talking about the money, and why these tours are now such big productions is because they have to charge $300 a ticket,
which
in
is
order to make
fucking
money.
insane.
Right, which is
crazy.
absolutely ridiculous. And $1,000 a ticket.
It's so cost effective to go to a concert, bro. I still haven't been to a concert yet.
Oh yeah,
Ever.
no. I mean, I used to go all the time, but again, that's part of the change of economics. But the corporations, just like in gaming, Steel, when we talk about the big AAAs, if you want to bring it back to gaming, have taken over and have diluted the market, have diluted the talent, have diluted everything about what made it great at one time to bring it back to gaming. And it's a very similar situation. But so I do think that we have gotten to a point where the old people who say my music was the best, or, you know, whatever the case may be, like I think have a very, very valid point. It's not just you're just at that age kind of thing. I think there's a very valid point to say that music nowadays is nowhere near what it used to be as far as talent goes, and as far as what made it special and the soul that it had is all but gone at this point. Again, it's a formula now, no matter what genre you're talking about. I don't care what genre you pick, it's a formula. So anyways.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays there's definitely, but that's why you see a lot of artists trying to break away from the machine nowadays versus trying to stay under them.
Sure.
You see other artists, again, you see a lot more indie artists, but again, there's just like the sea of indie games that we got out there. There's a sea of indie artists as well that I definitely suggest people take the time out and watch. That's why I like YouTube Premium as an example, not an ad, but YouTube Music, just because there's a lot of music that isn't on Spotify or any other or some of these other places that you can find, because it's uploaded to YouTube, because YouTube is essentially like the Google of like just content now. So something to take in consideration. But anyway, if you didn't know, this is Living Split Screen. Welcome. Hey, we take a week off.
Games here.
We haven't had a chance to really catch up. So to have interesting conversations as we do on a week-to-week basis. That's what we do here, man. Sometimes you're going to get some of that extra talk. Sometimes you get some of the behind the scenes. Sometimes you get a little music talk, which, again, I'm not somebody who's going to sit here and debate music, but I'll definitely talk about it, because I enjoy it, because I do feel like people just kind of overlook, just like people overlook games all the time. But with that, Living Split Screen is a non-console centric platform talking about everything going on within the gaming industry, at least for the most part. We're really bad about Nintendo, and I got so much heat and smoke for Nintendo that I'm going to continue to have. I'm just going to continue to be up in arms, because now we found out that the Joy-Cons aren't even different from the previous ones. That's awesome.
I called that before it released.
That is awesome. Isn't that cool?
I told you they were going to do that. I told you they were going to do that.
Isn't that cool, man? Hey, look, shout out to Nintendo and everybody who's enjoying that platform. It just won't be me for some time until they release something I care for. Well, unless my kids convince me somehow. Anyway, with that being said, this is the home of that RTS view, again, where we pull ourselves out of the world, look at the darker crevices of that map, pull our resources together so we can not only build up our own foundation, but also the foundation for the potential 2 to 3 billion gamers that are out there. With that as well is that ECP, that educated consumer perspective, because me and Paul do not work in the industry. We just take our own professional knowledge, mix it in with our gaming expertise, or experience, I should say, and wrap that all together, play a little armchair CEO, and just have fun having a conversation, not only with you, the chat, but also with each other, man, chopping it up and getting different perspectives on how we see things, because again, we're not here to invalidate nobody's opinion. We're not here to make you think that you stupid. We here for the conversation and have a good time. So that's why I say it's a gaming conversationalist podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Steel Rain. That T is a 7 everywhere. X, otherwise known as Twitter, is the easiest place to find that information. Also, YouTube, if you want to check out that content. Been uploading a lot of Stellar Blade content recently. I'm going, and again, I mentioned this some shows ago. I just been in the process of trying to get it started. I did start a video series, if you're into that, called Lunch with Steel. Typically, what I'm going to try to do is on a day-to-day basis, I'm just going to put my phone up, screen share. I am going to get a better mic for it at some point. One of them plug-in mics I can get for like $30, whatever the case. Something like that, so you guys can hear me a little bit better. But it's just, sitting down, having lunch. It's just meant to be like a 10-15 minute conversation about whatever's going on, because I do want to start putting myself out there more. Again, just start using my voice, use the tools that are given to you, that the person above has given to you, whatever you end up believing in. So and I just have too many people keep referencing it, so I need to start using it, but other than that, I expect more gameplay and stuff like that on a living split screen as well. I'm just going to post it as I can. If you're on the Horde of War tier for our memberships, you're going to get all that content day of or whenever it gets uploaded. So for an example, I'm going to be trying to create some more shorts out of today's show. I got one already set up. We'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll get a few. We'll end up getting quite a few more. I plan to have a slew of them, especially after figuring out that I can schedule videos. Woo, the scheduling is about to be crazy, ladies and gentlemen. That just means my weekends are just going to be a little bit busier as I get the business side of things rolling to hopefully get us some more people, man, because I definitely would like to chop it up with more people, get more people involved, continue to build up our own community, and just kind of go from there. So with that, I gotta introduce to you the uncanny gentleman himself, the X-Men that is not Cyclops, my brother from another who I haven't been able to speak to for a week, and maybe I got to do a little bit of the heavy lifting as far as the gaming goes. But nonetheless, with him being on the Candy Gentleman and him being there from the very existence of gaming, my guy, my confidant, the one and only Pong. So, what's going on, brother Van? How you feeling? Oh, you're muted.
How'd I mute? I didn't know I muted.
There you go.
Anyways, you know I'm feeling pretty damn good if we're going to get into some musical debates here, Steele. So, no, I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. Great start to the morning. Great to be back Saturday. Obviously, missed y'all, including you, brother, last week, as we both had some real life stuff going on. And yeah, I feel like overall, I feel like the boring old guy now whose real life is kind of dominating my time right now, unfortunately, because I'd love to be gaming right now, but again, this is kind of way it's gonna be for a bit, so we're just kind of buckled up and settling on in to this new kind of schedule that I got going on here for the time being, which means not a whole lot of time for gaming, but I have been, of course, it's never gonna be no gaming. So there has been a little bit here and there. It's been a lot of grazing, a lot of quick just jump in, jump outs. And so it's been a little bit of everything. I've gone back, Steele, and started because of the announcement that Neverwinter Nights 2, the remaster is coming next month. I've got it pre-ordered already, ready, locked, cocked, and ready to rock on Steam. I went back to Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition and started up. Started playing through Neverwinter Nights 1 again. So going old school, no controller available whatsoever. This is all mouse and keyboard. So we're doing my favorite thing in the world, mouse and keyboard, but it's actually not too bad in these types of games. So yeah, I've been playing some Neverwinter Nights, which is a freaking blast again, because the older RPG games, again, we can have debates all day long about what's better about RPGs nowadays than the old days and vice versa. But the one thing that nobody will ever be able to argue and change my mind on is when back in the day, they used strict D&D rules, AD&D rules, just like the tabletop games. I fucking love those types of RPGs. Now, they all have their different formulas nowadays. Diablo's got its own. Everybody's got their own kind of formulas. JRPGs have their own formulas. They're all kind of based on D&D tabletop rules where you've got, it's all done in the background, all the dice rolling and all that kind of stuff. But they've obviously modernized it where it's instantaneous. It's not like it was back in the day where you could actually tell that there were some calculations going on from the programming. And especially when it came to stats, comes to spells. Again, Neverwinter Nights spell list is ridiculous when you look at it versus modern spell lists, because back in the day, even if spells basically were worthless in 99% of the game, and there might be 1 or 2 times that you would ever use a spell if you actually took that spell and learned it in game as a wizard, they would still put it in the freaking game. They would still drop it and give you an option to pick up some worthless ass spell that you're never going to freaking use again. I fucking love that, because that's the way D&D was. Not every spell was going to be you could run 2 or 3 adventures and never use a spell that you currently had learned. That's the way it is. But I love it. So this is bringing me back to the day. So Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition is one of them. Nine Kings is a game that I promoted a couple weeks ago, if you guys remember. This is that roguelike deck builder, kind of, except the card system is you don't use like energy or points or anything like that. So it's not controlled like that. This is a totally freaking cool game, man. I keep jumping into this game and just thinking how good, and they just came out with another update too as well, because this is in early access. They just came out with another update, and it's freaking just getting better and better. If you guys are looking for a fun roguelite, which the runs usually last about maybe 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. If you get into a long one, it could be an hour if you actually keep going like I did last night. I really had a nice run last night. Had this unbeatable army forever. It is just a great game. Nine Kings. It's on Steam only right now. Early access. Great game. Jumped into Stellar Blade, obviously, Steel. Played some more of that last weekend.
Okay.
And what can I say? I just think it's a great game. We're back to the debates again that this game is all just about gooners, and that's all it is, because obviously the modding community has done what we all said they were going to do because it's so popular on PC. This game is much more than a gooner game. You put a male character, you put a Dante in her spot, Steel, and just have the same type of game.
Still hits as hard.
This would still be a good game, bro. Still be a really good game. It's freaking, for a first time game from a new studio. Yes, they leaned into obviously Eve and the rest of the girls.
But that's what they wanted to do.
That's
Eve
what they
was essentially created by the dude's wife.
And if you don't know,
so that's what makes it even funnier.
Did you see his interview?
The most recent one,
where they asked him about Eve's proportions, because they released all the proportions, and they released showing that the model, I forget her name now, and the proportions of Eve are exactly the same and how they translated them. But somebody asked him about why his butts in his games, because obviously with Nick, say it for me, Nikkei. I always screwed up.
Yeah, got us a victory, Nikkei.
Yeah, got us a victory, Nikkei. Why his butts look so good. Bro, he went on a full physical doctor type description of the difference between male and female anatomy and why the female butt is the certain way it is. We're talking about a serious conversation about how he designs them. So yes, he leaned into it. They leaned into that part of it. But the game itself is a freaking good ass. Again, I'm playing in story mode, so I'm not having the experience Steel is. Steel's playing on his way, right? With the difficulty level as it should be.
It's only normal. It's only on normal. Yeah, it's only
right. But it's the way it should be. It's the way it should be. I'm playing an action game. Okay, Steel's playing a little bit more tactical action game. I'm playing an action game. So, from an action game, lover like me, this game is freaking fun, and it's still challenging even on story mode for me, because I'm not, get perfect on parries and not perfect on dodges. So it is what it is. I'm enjoying the hell out of Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is awesome. What else, Steel? I re-downloaded on a whim, as I do from time to time, Steel. I get bugs because I'm a Razor.
What you got?
Forza Motorsport.
Oh, okay.
I haven't played Forza Motorsport forever. They've been dropping all these fucking updates. I haven't played it in whatever it's been, year, more, something like that. Download it. It's freaking fantastic, Steel. I just felt like driving, probably because of the summertime, probably because of what I was talking about in the beginning.
Yeah.
I was in a good mood. I've been driving. I hate traffic. I'm in traffic all the time. Been in traffic for years, but I've loved driving in general. I enjoy the act of driving. It's not a, it's not something I hate getting. I don't hate getting in my car. Let's put it that way. I love it. So I just got a bug. So I downloaded Forza Motorsport. My God, it's beautiful. It runs extremely well. The updates that they've done, you can see. Again, I'm not playing online. I'm not playing against multiplayer. I don't do that shit. I'm just straight up against the AI, just doing the basic races and all that kind of stuff. But man, oh man, is it good. So having a good time with Forza Motorsport again. So jump back into that as well. The Alters. I pumped this game. I made a tweet about it. The Alters came out in Game Pass. This is a really
People like it.
really great game. It got great reviews. Still, I think it's sitting at 86 or 87 right now, something like that. This is a great game. This is a unique sci-fi game. If you are looking for a unique sci-fi indie type game, but that has high fidelity graphics, they're not going to be like the most mind-blowing graphics of all time, but talking about beautiful, that sci-fi setting on a distressed planet with a bunch of activity in different places to go to, and then this unique creative setup where you have to kind of build an economy. You have to go out and find resources, go back to your base. You have to upgrade your base. You have to build
create copies of
base,
yourself.
create copies of yourself. The coolest part, Steel, I'll tell you this. You guys know me. Not every story. I'm not the dude who follows along with every little piece of lore or story. I'm not.
This one is good easy to follow.
Some games I get wrapped up into. Some games I don't. This one has reading to it. When you go through the timelines, I actually sat and took my time and read through entire timelines of this guy's life because they have him set up with his entire timeline of big decisions, things that happen in his life, yada, yada. Very interesting. I created my first altar, which is obviously a copy of yourself, like Steele said, who made a different decision. So you branch, right? And so he becomes a different person, even though it's the same person because of his decisions. He's a different person. Those are the conversations that they have between each other, right? And those are the conflicts that you have to manage because they come from different perspectives, even though they're the same person. You're fighting with yourself. But then the timeline breaks off, so you can go read what happened to that altar.
Okay, so it doesn't show you. You just got to read it.
You got to read it. The whole timeline shows up, right? But you got to go through each little point.
To see what happened.
And see what happened. Correct. I mean, you get the gist. They give you the rundown, but to get into some,
I thought it was like a cutscene kind of thing. Where
no. Again, this is an indie game, so it's not. I get it. It's not fleshed out. Not everything is.
This is what I thought. That's what I.
Not everything is voiced, etc. But there's a lot. There's a ton. Steele. There's a ton of conversations, bro. Tons. So, anyways, the Altars is fantastic, man. It's such a cool ass concept and such a different, unique game. I can't recommend it enough.
You were playing it on Xbox too, right, Paul?
Yeah. I was playing on Xbox. Yeah. Go check it. It looked great.
It's on Xbox.
It's on Xbox. It's on PC. Yeah, it's a great game. It is really fun. Go check out the Altars. What else, Steele? What else have I been getting into, man? Trying to think what else I've been getting into here. I didn't start it, but I will let you guys know I did pick up Atomic Heart, Steel, after that showcase.
What, the regular game? The one that was in Game Pass?
Yeah. I picked it up on PC. I got it on sale. I got because I told you I wanted to go back and play.
How much was it?
Because I got all me excited watching that. So I am going to start that up. Yeah, I got a good deal. Yeah, I got the complete edition with all the DLC for like $24. So
oh, damn. That's nice.
$20, yeah. Space Marine.
The first one? I saw people complaining about it. They were playing matchmaking. It was like, oh, what's up with this matchmaking? They didn't change nothing. I thought it was funny. I was like,
I'm done with
Space Marine 2 is literally there.
Go play Space Marine 2. I've been playing this just to play through the story again. And have the upgrades because I went back and played the 360 version. Okay. Right, I started replaying the 360 version. You knew that still before Space Marine 2 came out because I had picked it up. And you had bought the PC version. Yeah. Which you got all the bells and whistles. It already looked great. Okay, well, the 360 version. Well, yeah, and so does this one. But I'm just saying the 360 version. Come on, bro. It's pretty. It's fun. It's good, but it's pretty bad. I saw some complaining about this. Oh, this is just a cash grab, bro. Come on, they didn't claim this was a whole redone kind of. They put this thing out extremely fast. All it did was bring it up to date, so you can go back and play through it. So you get the story, excuse me. I've been playing that. It's great. It's fun. It's Space Marine 1. I love it. And they did a nice job with it. It plays really well on Series X. So I've been enjoying the hell out of that. Oh, Steel, you'll like this one. I totally forgot because we didn't have a show last week.
What you got? Said
I tried
like
Zenless
this
Zone
one.
Zero.
Okay, you tried Zenless Zone Zero.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
How did that make
tried
you feel?
it. Yo, listen.
It's not hard to
like
play.
The game.
It's easy to get into.
No. I like the game.
And they changed it a lot since I've played.
I like how it plays.
Mhm.
I like the action.
Okay.
But my God, brother, it is as bad as an MMO as far as your time goes because they
Oh,
put
yeah.
so many elements to keep you in the fucking game
Oh,
for
yeah.
as long as possible. And I know it's a gotcha game. I understand, Steel, but I was like, I was playing it. I was like, oh my God, this is really fun. The combat's really cool. I love the character. I got a good early pull because
Okay.
with Game Pass they
They
gave
do
you
that with
some free shit. Yeah,
new people too.
but I didn't. I got a good random pull too. I
That's good
got
stuff.
one of the S girls randomly too.
Hey.
So I was starting off hot, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is cool." But my God, the scenes, the talking Steel, the running around to do the stupid little shit. I was like, okay, like I really like this game, but it's like MMOs. I can't spend the time here with you. I can't do that. Like I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, I just sunk like 3 hours into this game and went through like 2 levels of battles after 3 hours.
Yeah,
and the rest has been bullshit. And I'm like, you know what I could have done in Neverwinter Nights in 3 hours? You know what I could have completed in that?
Now you're running
into
into my problem. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how many, I always have
decision.
but I always have. That's why I don't play
Yeah.
MMOs. That's why I didn't jump back into ESL, right? One of the reasons, because again, that my character's locked to PlayStation. But the point being is that I normally would have just started up a new ESL character, but I can't commit like that, Steel, because I'm just like, yo, this game is just taking my time. However, I will say this: if you're a gacha fan, obviously, and you like those types of games, this is very well done for console. I felt great on controller. Everything was set up really well. UI, I didn't have any problems with the UI. Didn't have any problems with the menus. Yes, they get a little convoluted. Of course, these types of games always do a little bit.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, you get used to them.
It's to keep you in
to
even longer though.
Yes.
So anyway,
to your point, it's designed like that so that you can look at all these different stuff, so you can try to learn all these different things, and then once you learn all these things, then you have to feel like you're committed. So it's like, I want to get this, and then they get you with trying to level up your characters and make them stronger, and then you like certain characters, and they release a new character, and then you try to get that one, and then you get depressed because you don't get it because it's a gacha game, and they like to do random shit and have you spend money on shit, although you're not guaranteed nothing. The games work. I don't see how the fucking games aren't illegal, but. Hey,
no. I mean, it's the same. It's the same as loot boxes. It's the same as everything that supposedly everybody vilifies, except that because they started on mobile, nobody has a problem with them. Nobody cares, right? Nobody gives two shits that is where they started.
And that's my problem. You can't, there's certain games you can't downplay, like Wuthering Waves as an example. The way it looks on mobile phone, the way that game looks on PC, it's like you're playing two different existences of the game. Now it does run well and it does still look good on both, but Wuthering Waves has been making consistent updates, making the game look better and better over time. And they're not like some big over the top studio, or they're not a AAA studio. They're making good money on a month-to-month basis, but that's also the type of game that they are. You have it's a double-edged blade, because now they got to keep the content up. You don't keep the content up, the people aren't going to keep coming back. They don't keep coming back. You can't keep dropping fresh and good-looking characters and keep people invested. So yeah. Still think Wuthering Waves is the one to play, but.
Yeah, that's fine. I had to jump in because it was there, and I was like, okay, I got to check it out. Like, I got to check it out. And again, I did enjoy it, and I think it's a high production quality game. I mean, it's again, they go all out. Like, it's not like they make these cheap little ass games that make $10 billion and they never invest. They invest.
That's why you got to be careful nowadays, bro. Right. You can't. Like, even for me, like, I get when people are like, oh, well, mobile games, because you still hear it out when you're out and about, or just hear people having gaming conversation. It's like, dog, like, you got to be careful what you're talking about, because again, another game that I've brought up here plenty of time, Where Winds Meet, is technically a mobile game, and it is releasing on PC and PlayStation. And it is technically was supposed to be a mobile game first. And it's in China doing numbers. It's doing good. And it's one of the most impressive Eastern style games that I've seen outside of Black Desert. And outside of what we've seen from Crimson Desert. Right. You know what I mean? Pearl Abyss. Again, another Korean studio. You see where we're kind of moving it.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. We're gonna see more from them too once Crimson drops here because it's gonna be pretty damn impressive. I was disappointed. Steel, I gotta tell you this too.
What you got?
While we're here, I was disappointed with Gears. First weekend of beta. I tried jumping in 3 different times. I tried jumping in 3 different times.
Connection wise. Saturday was ass. Saturday was ass.
I tried Sunday. Couldn't get in.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't have an issue. I didn't have any issues. Nope. I played for quite some time. But I get
and again,
it.
I'm not gonna sit there. I'm not gonna
There's
sit
no
there
excuse
for 30
for
minutes trying. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I'm gonna do with my Sunday. I tried for like 15 minutes and I was like,
yeah, nah.
Okay.
That turned me off of it too.
So I'm going to try again this weekend. I kept it downloaded.
It was instant.
I'll try again this weekend.
This weekend was pretty instant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to wind up trying again this weekend. Yeah. I hate King of the Hill. I don't know.
Fucking King of the Hill is fucking, that shit is fucking phenomenal. You can play Execution too. So, and I do want to get some Execution rounds in because that's just good old, that's classic right there.
Yeah. It is.
That shooting across the map shit.
So that I was disappointed in. But hopefully, like you said, this weekend's instant, so they fixed a lot of the shit. Then I saw all the videos from people posting again, and my God, it looks freaking fantastic. So I don't care what people say. I don't care. I heard some people complaining about that too. They didn't change anything, bro. What the?
They changed enough for the platform that it's going to.
They're building,
and it's 120 on all consoles.
My God, right? Exactly. Anyways,
they updated the back end, nowadays, bro. Again, this is supposed to give you a year before E-Day comes out. That's all this is supposed to do.
Everybody's gonna be playing. Yeah, that's what everybody's gonna be playing when
they did the same thing with Ultimate Edition to 4. Like,
right?
They can do more. They can do more, but. And I 100%. I can get behind it. I can talk a little bit about it because I got some.
Yeah. I'll let you talk about because you actually got it and played, and I know you were having a decent time, especially with randos. Last game I'll bring up. Shout out to I think I saw it. I think Boomstick. I think Mr. Boomstick retweeted it. Again, I was looking for quick. I didn't have much time, so I was looking for another quick game. But he had retweeted this little game called Keeper's Toll, which is a Vampire Survivors clone. Yeah, it's a Vampire Survivors clone. It was on sale last week for $5. Okay, you got me at the price at $5, whatever. It's actually published by East Asia Soft, which is actually a pretty well known. They've done a lot of AA indie style JRPGs. East Asia Soft is one of the companies that I know about because they used to make a ton of little RPGs all the time. Anyways, really cool company. And it's straight up a Vampire Survivors ripoff, but it's set in a darker fantasy, kind of high fantasy setting. And I picked it up it was like $4.92. I don't remember.
That's not bad.
It was $5.
Hey,
I picked it up, bro.
A candy bar.
It's fun. It's fun as hell. It's got enough differences from Vampire Survivors that you got to relearn and you got to learn how it works. And they don't really hold your hand at all. So you kind of go on the fly and learn it. But if you're a Vampire Survivors person and you're looking for another one to try Keeper's Toll. Keeper's Toll is pretty dope, man. I'm not gonna lie. So the specialties, again, there's enough difference between it and Vampire Survivors. There's obviously a lot of similarities, but there's enough difference between it and how they do things and some of the magic items that you can get and that kind of stuff, the bonuses. It's really, really well done. And every night I've been coming home, especially on my nights where I gotta get to bed early and been popping that on and playing for an hour a night and just making a couple runs. So that is a good game. So check out Keeper's Toll. I don't know if it's still on sale, but it is a Xbox Play Anywhere as well. So you can go pick that up and play it on your PC if you want to. So yeah, man, I've been all over the place, Steel. I've been all over the place. A little bit of nostalgia, some new stuff, a little bit of everything in between, man. And that's all I've been doing, man. So
I mean, as you've been grazing as usual, touching some things. Yeah. I mean, it's good to hear that you got a little bit more of that good old Stellar Blade action in, and I can use that as a jump off point. I saw Gene being funny, and I definitely appreciate it. Again, of course, you got to play it a year early, Gene. You played it on PlayStation, and look, people, anybody, they're not pointing you out specifically. Anybody that wants to play, use that as a bragging right, I get you, man. That's never where we're coming in on the conversation, right? For me, you know what my argument is going to be. I'm playing the better version. I'm glad I waited. It's the same way I feel about Starfield right now. I wish I would have fucking waited because I keep seeing the mods and it keeps getting better and better. Like I knew that it would. Once I started digging into the modding scene, especially with Skyrim and stuff, and like to be real, like I almost like I spent a lot of time getting into the modding scene, customizing stuff, and really having a good time. It's not like I really regret it. It's just like I don't replay games. Why? One of the main reasons now, as of today, is I got options. And I am more multiplayer focused, so me trying to jump into a game that I've already played, I'm good. So with that in consideration, shout out to Stella Blake. The nearness of it for sure is something that I do definitely enjoy. Just the whole concept of AI, super intelligent AI on a level that, again, me and Pong have talked about that here before, that comes to determine that humans are inferior. And decides to wage war against us and create its own form of humans.
Yeah.
And we as humans end up trying to force our own evolution. I think it's an interesting concept as far as a game. Some people might find it tropey, some people might find it corny. That's just at the point where I'm at right now in the game, as far as my understanding. There could be another twist that's about to pop up, right? But I thought it was enough of a twist that humanity end up trying to force their own evolution to fight back, right? Now, again, that could be something else because there's a lot of questionable things happening in this story. It's like, yeah, all these people are shady. I'm obviously, again, like Deer, you're just doing your mission, but you're coming to understand, oh, I'm not human? I'm not what they consider to be this? Oh, my creator had a creator? Okay, what's up with this stuff? The concept of that, super cool to me. I'm into it. I will be honest though, man. At first, when I was playing Stella Blade, like when I first booted up that first hour, I was kind of questionable on it. I was kind of like, I don't know. This doesn't play the way that I thought it would, right? It was a little bit slower, had a little bit more of that Souls. I've come to define it now as light, where there are elements in there, but it's not enough to make it a Souls-like game. And I believe that's how that works. The same way with roguelikes and roguelites, right? Anyway, as I just explained. But as you start progressing more and you get used to unlocking, I feel like I unlocked a lot of the skill tree kind of early on, just exploring. Right? Like by the time I got to the second or third zone, I had one of my main skill trees almost completely built out. And I don't know if that's because I have been doing all the missions and side content and just enjoying myself, because that's what I do when I jump into these types of experiences. But now, like, really getting into my bag, photo mode is immaculate. Eve as a character is super dope. I think she could possibly be up there as far as like game characters, like up there with Bayonetta, again, like Paul mentioned earlier, like a Dante. She has her own kind of sachet, so it's really dope. Again, appealing character. I like a lot of the outfits that I got in here. Again, negative for me is I can't like color customize, but there are mods that are now dropping that allow you to kind of color customize and kind of change certain things how you would like, because again, call me prude, call me whatever, I think I'm a man of taste. I can't be running around with the assless chaps. I just can't do it. You know, it's cool. I get it. I know why it's appealing to folks. You know, you running around with your baddie with a thong on. I hear you. But I like mine with have some pants on. And they got a good variety of fits that still kind of blended to and still play into what I think that the director of the game was trying to accomplish. Kind of putting hand in hand. Good gameplay matching an appealing character. And I think, again, that's what makes Bayonetta a good game. That's why it's memorable. She is an over-the-top, good-looking character, has good combat, is telling a decent story that's really not super original, but is appealing enough to get a crowd of attention. Devil May Cry. That's the whole principle. You're just meant to be cool. If I can have all these buff, good-looking dudes in the video games, then why can't we have the opposite as well, right? So Stellar Blade is definitely a good standout. And again, it would be one thing if it's like one of these other games, like, oh, you got one of these knockoff indie games. It just has a good looking character, but the gameplay is whack. That's not what's happening. Like, it literally, the music is immaculate. The moment gameplay is immaculate. Building out your skill tree, learning what combos you can do. Now leaning more into that when you're understanding that she is an android. Now you're leaning more into, oh, I can get behind the enemy real quick. Oh, I can do, I just unlocked the ability. I just became Virgil, bro. And I put some shorts out there about it and everything. Like, she literally has an ability where I sit there, charge my blade up, and she starts slashing all over the freaking place. That shit is dope as fuck to me. Maybe it's basic. It's a basic bitch thing of me, but hey, I'm enjoying it. Stellar Blade is super dope. Definitely one of my highlights for this year. But again, I won't give it game of the year, because the game came out a year ago. But for a game that I was hyped for since 2021, when it was announced to be on all platforms, I think it's a phenomenal experience. I am happy that it turned out to be a good game like I was expecting it to be, right? So that's the main thing. I'm doing a lot of the parrying, trying to get nice with that. There is mods that are helping people with that I see that is obviously out there. You have mods for that in game though too, which is, it's just weird. You know, hey, whatever handicaps you need so you can play the game with one hand, I guess that's why they're there. But it's cool, man. It's cool seeing how the people embrace it. The game has sold over 3 million copies now at this point, probably going to be closer to 4 or 5. I still think that, and I wish the game was everywhere. I want more people to play this game. It's the same way that I feel about Bayonetta. I haven't played Bayonetta 2 or 3 to fruition because it's locked away to a certain platform. I'm not playing that shit at 30 FPS. I'm not just going to get a Switch 2 to play Bayonetta. I'm just not. That's not my reason for that. I would love to be able to just have access to that game. It's like me. I'm like the freaking Futurama me. I got the money in my hand and I'm yelling at Nintendo, yo, let me buy your game. I just want to play it wherever I want to play it at. But again, they're still in the old ways of doing things. They want you to buy their console, so it is what it is. But super dope to jump into that, and that's been a dumb amount of fun. Just really enjoying it. And honestly, it's just setting the stage for good old Mecha Break, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, releasing July 1st. If you're not familiar with Mecha Break, it is a hero-based mech game, essentially, third person, 3v3s, 6v6s. You got pushing the objectives, you got domination, you got a mode to essentially, that's an extraction like battle royale kind of style mode. You can customize your character, customize your mech. I might have to pull some of that gameplay up for y'all that's watching the background. Again, I'm not sponsored. I'm just extremely excited and hyped to get a really dope mech game. I compare it to a arcade version of Armored Core. Right, that has a good skill ceiling to it. A lot of potential in it. Can't wait to jump further than that on July 1st. So kind of just setting the stage for myself. I have played Gears Reloaded, a beta. I played it last weekend, and I do agree upon on one end. I played for a few hours. My brother got on. We ran a couple matches, and then we got into a time period where it was taking 10 to 30 minutes to find a match. Luckily, we were doing other stuff, chopping it up, talking, or whatever else the case might be. So it wasn't super big deal. But again, for a server stress test, like what are we doing? I mean, again, if you're just telling me that there's just that many people playing Gears, I guess. But I don't know if that's necessarily the case. The next day, at least Sunday for me. So I think it went live Friday. Got some games, got Saturday where it had some issues. And then Sunday, I didn't end up playing because I was kind of like, I'm good. I don't really want to play Team D. You keep putting me on this freaking, on this one map. I'm good. I can't even think of the name of the map right now, but either way, jump back into it this weekend. King of the Hill is dropped. They got Canals, War Machine, and King of the Hill has been freaking phenomenal. It's just the main thing for me. The reason I like King of the Hill, again, one, it's the domination mentality. I like playing Dom as well, capturing the objective, keeping people off the objective, the amount of bodies you can get trying to keep people off the objective. It's kind of like King of the Hill. It's just like you are the king of that hill. How can you maintain it? Except unlike back in the old days, which I do kind of miss, like Annex, where you had to be in the hill. But anyway, it's been a super good time. I do feel the changes that have been made. The shotgun is still inconsistent like it was previously. I saw more people from the Gears community coming out with videos saying, hey, this is the issue with the shotgun. This is what you need to fix. And this is how to fix it. I don't know if they're going to actually implement this shit. I do think one of the main ways to bring Gears back to the forefront is making the shotgun consistent. Because again, I am still rolling up on folks and I'm still trying to get my groove back, but I'm running up on folks, stuffing them with my barrel, and they aren't dying. They'll be stunned. I walk up on them, shoot them with a shotgun. They don't die. You know, stuff like that. They definitely still got to work on, but the service feels smooth. Playing at 120 FPS, that feels really good. Again, sure, is it just Gears 1? Is it just Gears Ultimate Edition? Sure, in many ways it is. But at the same time, I went back and was playing Ultimate Edition online with people again. And in comparison, Reloaded does feel like an update. Like a heavy update. You know what I mean? It feels completely different. In hand, moment to moment, there's more consistencies that do happen in this game. And it just feels better to play. It does feel a little bit snappier, I would say. So just jumping back into that, it's been super dope. Seeing just get the lobbies get full just instantly off of a beta. You know, and seeing people getting hyped for it, people finding interest in saying that they actually do like it. Some people kind of swearing themselves off of it. It's been interesting to see. And you know what? They got in-game game chat. So there's a lot of smack talk happening between games. There was a game last week that I jumped into with a random it's always random mostly. But apparently we end up jumping in there. And we end up smacking these guys. We won 0 them. And the guy got on the mic. He was from the UK. He ended up friending me after the match. He came on the mic. He was like, bro, I just want to say thank you, man. Because they was in here just talking bad shit to me the whole time. They were doing the gayest stuff possible. They were lancering. People are still doing that. The Lancer is vicious in this fucking game. Which again, hey, play how you want, man. Because you could pop the head off with the pistol. And that's that's the other thing that made Gears 1 dope. You pull that pistol out and get enough headshots in on somebody that's damaged, that head's coming off. That'll make you think twice about Lancer for too long. So good stuff there. Other than that, Chrono Odyssey. I did end up getting into the playtest. You don't know what Chrono Odyssey is. It's another Korean MMO that was in development. It's a game that I've had interest in for some time, since they did their original teaser trailers for it and everything. Dark grim world, action-based combat. I jumped in last night, created my character. Well, this morning, yesterday. Jumped in, created my character. Bald dude. They got decent customization options, plenty of variety there. You can kind of make your character look how pretty much you want, right? There's enough of ability there. I didn't go too far in depth. I just made a bald dude with a beard. Made it simple. Female customization looks like it's got plenty of options there for you as well. Plenty of jiggle physics and whatnot, if you're into that. Mm-hmm. But I loaded into the game, and you ever wake up and the room is just complete black, like it's just pitch dark? That's how it was when I loaded into this game. Now I thought it was me. I thought it was tripping. I thought it was computer was acting up. I went into the menus, turned the brightness up, turned the contrast, adjusted.
So wait, you could still see the menus, but the screen was black.
Yeah, like the actual lighting in game was. Yeah. Bro, Pong, when I tell you like black, I'm talking about like I could see me doing abilities. But it's so dark, I couldn't tell what the fuck I was hitting. Like in certain angles when you got near like torch lights and stuff like that, I could see like, they're goblins or I guess or something. But like other than that,
this was actually a problem. This was actually a game problem.
Yo, no, it was 100% a game problem. At least for me, I didn't tweak and twerk it and try to find out whatever needed to be changed, fiddle with my monitor. No, bro, I spent like 15 minutes fighting this group of enemies or whatever the case, and I couldn't see shit. So I turned it off. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was at. I couldn't even see all the enemies. Like the screen was dark. Like I felt like I had to adjust my monitor to be able to see. And it's like, bro, my monitor settings are fine. I was sitting there
again,
bro. I haven't since yesterday.
Okay.
I haven't.
That's so.
No, I booted. I rebooted it twice.
Yeah. Oh, so you did try it.
I backed out. Yeah, I backed out and went back in, and it was still dark. Now that is a complaint. That is one complaint that people said they were having. Not to the extent that I had it. And again, maybe it was me. It was a setting. But I went into the menus and turned my brightness all the way up, and the only thing it did was make my screen more gray. You know how you just put too much brightness where it makes the screen look like it was like has like a film over it, essentially.
Yeah.
That's how it ended up. That's what it would look like if you turn the brightness up or if you adjust the contrast. Like I couldn't get it to a point where I could see what I was doing, and I didn't want to like makeshift my way through the experience. So I said, you know what? No. Instead of having a bad experience.
Yeah.
After the second time I loaded back in, it was the same thing. I did a couple of abilities. I was like, I think I could see something. I think I could feel something here. Like you could swap between weapons. That stuff felt smooth. Essentially, you have 4 abilities for each weapon. Your character has 2 weapons. Apparently, you're going to be able to choose weapons as well. But your character has 2 weapons that you can pretty much instantly swap between. Each weapon has 4 abilities that you can use. And using those abilities in the time that I was swinging at shit that I didn't know what it was, and I saw a health bar. You can see a health bar. You can see see the health bars of the enemies. You just couldn't see the enemies. Like it's so dark, you couldn't even see your character. But there's like a torchlight over here. It's just like the lighting was terrible in this game. Now, and that has been a complaint that people have had who have played the beta, but who are playing the early access for it. They said, like in the dungeons and stuff, the darkness is way too dark, like to the point where it's hard to see stuff. Again, I've watched other people's gameplay of that intro section that I was jumping into, and it didn't look as dark because when you're in the dark, but you can still see what's going on. It was like that episode of Game of Thrones that everybody fucking complained about.
Okay.
Where the Night Walkers coming in and all the shots were mad dark. You could barely see what was happening. It was just shot bad. It was essentially like that. But again, I don't have a bad opinion on Chrono Odyssey, and I feel like maybe the combat could be some fun of what I could tell just from pressing some buttons and seeing my character have some animations happening because it had effects on it. But other than that, I'm going to leave it for now. Maybe I'll play another beta test somewhere down the road. I think this play test is only supposed to last a few days. So, hey, hopefully they get enough information to tune whatever they need to tune. Apparently, this is also an older build. So there's that as well. The build is at least 6 months old that people are going to be playing.
That's a weird problem to be having.
And again, maybe it's just a me thing. Maybe I need to tweak and twerk my monitor to get the settings, the contrast and brightness just right so I can see what was happening. Maybe this is the game that put my brand new monitor to the test. It said, your blacks are too black and your whites are too white still. But I was fucking with it, and it didn't get any better or worse. It was just dark. It was just too goddamn dark. So, hey, it is what it is. I'm going to leave it at what it is. I want to play the game when it's in a decent spot. And I'm hearing a lot of the same complaints about stuff, so just gonna leave it for what it is. The game needs work from the consensus that I'm seeing right now. Like to the point to where people who are listening to content creators kind of come out early and start talking about this game, where some people feel like they've been lied to. Because I will say, in comparison, you know how we talk about games, like when we see trailers nowadays, a lot of time what you see from the trailer, especially from the Eastern devs, right? A lot of time what you see from the trailer is pretty much the game. Chrono Odyssey doesn't quite hit that. It's like, you could tell it's a step back. It's kind of like Cyberpunk. Oh, you sold us on this, but it wasn't quite cyber. It wasn't what we got day one. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't what we got day one. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations. the game has a lot of potential from what I've seen other people play and whatnot. Again, it is an MMO with a lot of variety. I'm not seeing it be better than Black Desert, but
Right.
Black Desert has also had a lot of time behind it now at this point. So it's kind of hard for me to make that reference point, because if I was going to ask, if somebody would ask me, yo, Steel, what MMO should I play? Should I play Chrono Odyssey when it comes out in 2 years, or should I play Black Desert? I would tell you to just play Black Desert and stick with that. I wouldn't tell you to play anything else. I would tell you to play that over Final Fantasy 14. I would tell you, out of any MMO that is out there, play Black Desert if you're looking for good combat, a variety of different things that you can do. So hundreds of hours of things that content that's there. So hey, is what it is. Other than that, I don't think I've been jumping into anything else. Again, Stellar Blade has been my main attraction, and main thing that I've been keeping up with, and getting downloading some mods and whatnot, keeping up with the mod page and watching people be freaks. But other than that, it's been pretty much it, man. So other than listening to people complain about Xbox,
Crushing it out. How far away do you think you are from beating Stellar Blade? You got to be close, right?
no.
No? Okay.
Because I'm doing everything. I mean, like,
Oh.
I'm not like I'm trying to, but I'm not. It's just like, you give me missions, I'm liking
Right.
what I'm playing. So let's go do more missions.
Right. So,
So I'm kind of clearing out the areas as I get to them. I currently have 40 hours of Stellar Blade. I mean, I may be halfway.
That's why I thought you were close.
I may be halfway.
Okay. Yeah. So you're playing it the way I play. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I might be halfway. I don't know. I wish there was an achievement to kind of tell me exactly where I was. Because I literally, Gene, if you're still in the chat, or somebody who's played Stellar Blade already, don't share nothing. I mean, Latin Night is going to bother me because I still got to play. I still got to jump into it regardless. But I just found out that what's really happening. Essentially, what happened to the humans. The first time. I think this is the second time that I've picked up the data device from Raven. I haven't fought Raven. I know that's something that's supposedly happen. And I just got done doing my second one of fucking those egg things. Get the name of it right now. But yeah, I can't be. I maybe I'm halfway. Maybe a little bit further. Hey, chat, let me know if you know where I'm at. Well, ladies and gentlemen, plenty of what we've been playing, plenty of music talk as well thrown in there. You know what you get on a living split screen. Almost over 90 minutes in live run and cut. So that's how we do it, man. Pong, I mean, where do you want to start off this week? I know on the thumbnail, I got
shout the chat out. Let's shout the chat out, and you decide where you want to start, and we'll just roll, because we got some big conversations. So, the chat, you guys are all freaking amazing. Thanks for dropping on by on another beautiful Saturday. Thanks for hanging out with us. MG has been in the chat. He's been lively today. Him and Nixie, everybody else. Thank you for being here, MG, and appreciate you so much. Tim the Sorcerer, what's going on, Tim the Sorcerer? Great to see you as well. The Sly Crow's in here, of course. Thank you, brother, for being here. Fahim Scott is in here. What's up, Fahim? Great to see you. The one and only Knob Omar dropping on by, of course, as well. Lydian Master, what's going on, Lydian? Great to see you. Thank you for being a part of the show today. We got the Ghost Wolf 3599 in the house. What's going on, Ghost Wolf? Thank you, sir. And, of course, the one and only Nixie in here. Nixie, what's going on, brother? Great to see you. Having some fun at the expense of some Xbox fans getting excited for Final Fantasy. I saw you, Nixie. I don't know why that bothers you, Nixie. It's just a little get back. PlayStation fans said forever Xbox don't have no games when they had third-party games. So, Xbox fans just got to get their get backs and say that PlayStation has no games, even if they've got third-party games now. Goalposts always move, brother. Goalposts always move. They were just having a good time and celebrating.
Unfortunately,
it is what it is.
Mecha Break isn't releasing on PlayStation day one. Xbox console exclusive.
Nobody cares. They just move the goalposts. It don't matter.
Wu-Chang
but anyways,
I saw end of Wu-Chang is July 24th. Crow.
Is it okay? Oh, I just saw Nixie making fun of the videos from the fan fest. They're just having a good time, Nixie. Nothing wrong with a bunch of old guys having a good time, man. Just having a good time. Don't be such a party pooper. Love you, Nixie. Who else we got in here? We got the one and only Decado in the house. What's going on, Decado? Great to see you, sir. Who else? What's going up? We got the Desert Cruiser. What's going on, Desert Cruiser? This must have been during the Stellar Blade conversation. Desert Cruiser says, in the distant future where we send sex bots to fight our wars. Pretty much.
Where AI does it for you.
Yeah, AI does it for you. Great to see you, Desert Cruiser. Thank you for dropping in here, sir, on a Saturday. The one and only brother from another, the man who destroyed the video game industry, and now he has moved on to marketing and advertising to destroy that field as well. You already know. It's the one and only 3-Bit. That's right, 3-Bit. And everybody knows, because he said it publicly, but maybe our chat doesn't know. If you haven't seen 3-Bit, any F1 advertising you guys see for the new movie, the new Brad Pitt movie, F1? That's getting rave reviews, by the way. I can't wait to watch that. Steel racing fan. I love racing movies, dude. They do so well. 3-Bit is working on all the F1 advertising. That's his. So shout out to 3-Bit. Moving up, doing big things, brother. Great to have you here. The game on Jesse. What's going on? He says, I'm replaying the old Mafia games, getting ready for the old country. There you go. Game on Jesse. Mafia games are freaking awesome. I'd like to get back to those at some point too. Great to see you on a Saturday. Who else? We got the Dan, the man, Cunningham. Of course, the OG in the house is going on. He says, I wish Warcraft was playable on Xbox and not just PC. Yeah, Dan. There's a lot of people who wish that they would do that. Oh no, it's Alex put out another post too that they need to convert that to console. For anybody who doesn't know, PC Game Pass is getting the old school Warcraft is coming 1, 2, and 3 to PC Game Pass. I'm fucking stoked. That was announced this week through Xbox Wire. Again, they are slow. They can't be any slower with this ABK deal and the backwards. The title's coming.
They're walking it,
bro. They are. Bro. It's
maybe
beyond.
they got to. But working on the technology.
No, but they don't got to nothing. They can drop all the games. There's nothing to work on some of those games, bro. They just rolled out Crash Bandicoot, whatchamacallit. Anyways, not going to get into that again. I've already said my piece on that. I'm sick and tired of that bullshit. They promised us that all that was included and they're not dropping it because they're holding it until they do the price increase. Anyways, the fact that they did drop the Warcraft that's going to come into PC Game Pass, I am excited. So, and World War II, for anybody who did not see Call of Duty World War II, which I actually really liked. I know some people did not like World War II. I played the shit out of World War II. I love that Call of Duty is also dropping the Game Pass. So they are starting to drop some of the backwards compatibility, some of the older Call of Duty titles as well. But yeah, Warcraft. Oh God, that's going to be so good to go back to. Who else we got in here? Scrolling up. I don't know how far back I'm going to go. We're so deep into the show. Legendary B, what's going on, Yobes? Great to see you, the legend himself. He says, Lunch with Steel is fire. One of the most positive dudes in the entire community, man. Love you, the Obi. Thanks for being here, man. Rescue Squad Coop. What's going on, Rescue Squad? Great to have you a part of the show, sir. Thank you. Always joining on Saturday. Wilf Free Rosario says, good morning, fellas. Good morning to you, Wilfrey, or good afternoon if that's where you are in the world. Thank you, sir, for being here. Let's see here. Scrolling up. Who else we got in here? Jesse James is in the house. What's going on, Jesse James? Great to see you, sir. Depka, what's going on, Depka? Great to see you, sir. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Scrolling up. I think I already shouted out Lydia Master. Lydia, you get a second one if I already shouted you out. Thank you for being here, brother. Tim the Sorcerer, I think I shouted you out too. I think that's, am I all caught up? Let's see here. Let's see how far back. Wacko Games! Thank you for dropping in here. Thank you for being a part of the show today. I think that is as far back as I can go. Did I miss anybody down below? I think everybody's in here. Let's see here. Lost for Words. Great to see you in here. Thank you. Says hi all. Hi all to you. Thank you for being and enjoying the show. Hope you're enjoying it.
Crow says he calls it Lunch with Steel at 5 a.m. in the morning. That's when I have my lunch, man.
It's different.
Stupid.
It's different.
It's what happens when you work overnight, man?
Yeah. All right.
out.
So we're all set to go. I think that's it.
Damn,
Yep, I think we're all
Oscar
caught up.
words. He came through and dropped
Oh,
the thumbs up.
The thumbs up with the $1.99. Choo choo, motherfucker. Choo choo. Lost for words.
Bones. I appreciate you.
Got
Lost
the
much love.
euros.
Again, man, that's what we're trying to get some more content up. Just trying to put more energy and stuff out there. So that's the main thing, man. Want to get us to that good old 5K. We gonna pass all the other numbers straight to 5K. That's what we working on. Maybe we'll drop enough hot takes that we unintentionally don't do. Nixie says still got way more energy than me at 5 a.m. Hey man, you got to keep it up.
Working already.
I'm 32. About to be 33. You gotta keep that. Can't turn into an old dog, man. I gotta stay all right out here. Interacting with the folks out here.
Oh, Dizzy Delta 99. I see you dropping in here. He says, I was going to put you guys and Mav on a milk carton. Yo, we already gone for 1 week. Now, Mav has taken his break, which, again, he needed to do that real life, and we were supposed to come back this Thursday, and he had technical issues. Next week, we should be good to go on Thursday, so the Fun Spec crew will be back. We don't know who's going to be there, but Thursdays is no longer just going to be PM and the PM. It's going to be more a fun speculation show since Mavs only do one a week. But he took like a month and a half, 2 months off, which, again, was needed. We were only gone for 1 week, Dizzy. Only 1 week. Did it feel like we were gone that long? You need to put us on a milk carton?
Yeah, it was only a week.
Well,
we had an episode. It was on audio platforms and everything. I mean, but that's also why I was trying to deliver some content for y'all, man. So.
We hate missing a week, though. We really do. We miss all you guys. And
we like to get into it.
It feels different when we don't do it. Who else did I see dropped in here real quick too?
Fahim says white boy energy, and then Gene says, "LOL, what's white boy energy?" What is this? What you mean, coked out? What do you mean? Like over the top? We talking like
Randy
Fight Club?
Pitchford energy. That's Randy.
That's that Randy. That's that Randy energy.
You get Randy.
The Randy who hyped everybody up there for about $80 and then ends up dropping the game at 70.
All you had to do, Randy, was not be an asshole for like 4 or 5 months. That's all you had to do, man. Not be an asshole for 4. You couldn't pull it off. You could not pull it off, Randy.
You got the goodwill. You got the goodwill of the gamer.
Bo Wolf Alpha Pack is in the house. Yo, what's popping? What's up? What's popping to you? And I know Masshole was in here earlier. I don't think I shouted out Masshole. Masshole, I saw you come in here with the sup nerds earlier. I don't think my chat went back that far, but sup to you, nerd. Him and his kiddo. Steve, I don't know if you saw yesterday was Jaws 50th anniversary.
I saw.
Shares my year, right? 75 was a great year. Jaws came out, but Masshole and his kid were watching it last night in celebration of the 50 years. That's what you do. Yeah. One of the goats. Shout out to Masshole. All right, we're all caught up now, Steel. So where do you want to go, brother? Nixie, I'm still beefing with Randy. I defended Randy forever. Randy's nonsense was pretty much just nonsense. And I used to just have fun with it because it was Randy. He's an eccentric dude who might have some hobbies, we'll call them, that accentuates that, right? So I used to defend Randy. I didn't have a problem with Randy. When I heard that Xbox turned down buying Gearbox because they didn't want Randy in charge, I didn't like that so much. I would have taken Randy on. I would have taken Gearbox.
Oh. Hey. Pulled up this shit and then fucking everything died.
What died?
I was pulling up the sources and everything, and then everything died. But it says we should be coming back up now. So, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. OBS said, "Let's have a blast today." Said you coming back. Said you starting season 5. He said this is episode 191. Nah, how about we get a little crash in there? We had a crash, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, it is what it is. This is how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But it does look like we are back up and running and looking good to go. Let me go ahead and close out of this other stuff over here. I'm also going to go ahead and close out of Steam just to make sure we're not going to have any issues there. Apologies on that. It happens, man. You can't account for everything. I don't get why it happens still. The only solution is downloading a fresh version of OP, and I've done that. So there's that. I've also moved all my folders and stuff around, so that's the other thing that's weird. So things would be more consistent. But anyway, Pong, what we were going to get into. Did you want to finish up your beef with Randy first?
No, that's okay.
Okay,
No? It's not worth anybody's time.
No,
I defended Randy forever. He became an asshole one time, and that's all it takes for me. So, sorry, I'm just not a true fan. So it's okay.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But on the outside looking in still.
So you're not excited about Borderlands being $70, doing the right thing for the people?
Because I'm still not buying it day one. So I will buy because I will buy the ultimate package. Huh? Yes, we did, but I will buy the ultimate package on sale. So he had my money day one. Now he doesn't. So that's it. I speak with my wallet.
I am curious. I do want to get your thoughts on whether we did win, because there is a side of it that no, we didn't win anything. This is what their intention.
No, because Europe's $80. So whatever.
Oh, well, there's that.
He did it for America. Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
The first thing I was going to start off with was the Sarah Bond coming out here with the Xbox plus AMD. This is kind of what started the train this week, before AMD also came out and kind of corroborated this wonderful news that we got here. Well, whether it's wonderful or not, I guess it's something to discuss. But it's Microsoft's next-gen Xbox has an AMD chip inside and is not locked to a single store. I thought they already had AMD chips, you know. So on one hand, I thought this was kind of funny because it's like, duh. But you telling me not locked to a single store, and also learning about some of the additional things that they're going to be doing, does add an additional level to it. Let me see if I can bring this audio up for you guys so we can get it straight from the horse's mouth. What is that? We need Chrome. Is that what it is? No. Bro, what is happening?
What's going on?
I'm trying to get this thing from Sarah Bond here, man. You know, I'm trying to get that pulled up a little bit. This thing says no. Okay, maybe that's it right there. Bada bang. You know what? You know what we're gonna do, Pong?
What are we gonna do? You tell me.
I'm just gonna bring this up on the biggest screen.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do that. Then we're gonna swap it over. Because now we got it on the big screen. And I'm going to do that. And now let's see. Nope. Well, anyway, that's enough of that. Essentially, Microsoft is confirming that it is working on a next-gen Xbox console in partnership with AMD. Xbox President Sarah Bond made the announcement in a minute-long video posted to YouTube, promising to deliver an Xbox experience not locked to a single store or tied to one device. You're not going to get the video to work. It's fine. It is what it is. Anyway, Bond says Microsoft is partnering with AMD for a strategic multi-year partnership that will include the pair co-engineering silicon across a portfolio of devices, including our next generation Xbox consoles in your living room and in your hands. The pair will also work together to build the next generation of Xbox cloud gaming. Microsoft is making it clearer than ever that its next-gen Xbox platform will be focused on multiple devices and not locked to its own store for games. This is all about building a gaming platform that's always with you so you can play the games you want across devices anywhere you want, delivering you an Xbox experience not locked to a single store or tied to one device, says Bond. That's why we're working closely with the Windows team to ensure that Windows is the #1 platform for gaming. The confirmation comes just days after Microsoft announced a partnership with Asus to launch 2 Xbox Ally handheld devices later this year, complete with a new full-screen Xbox experience on Windows. This new Xbox experience runs on top of Windows and means that Xbox Ally devices can access other stores like Steam, and it appears that Microsoft is signaling the same for its next-gen Xbox console. They go on to say, this is Bond's full statement. At Xbox, our vision is for you to play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want. That's why we're investing in our next generation hardware lineup across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories. I'm thrilled to share we established a strategic multi-year partnership with AMD to co-engineer silicon across a portfolio of devices, including our next generation Xbox consoles in your living room and in your hands. Together with AMD, we're advancing the state of art in gaming silicon to deliver the next generation of graphics innovation, to unlock a deeper level of visual quality and immersive gameplay and player experiences enhanced with the power of AI, all while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of games. Now, I'm gonna stop it here for a moment, because I think all while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games is a key point. The main reason it's a key point for me is kind of what I'm going to add to the conversation before I pass it off to Paul to get kind of his thoughts and see where this kind of lands things out with not only Sarah Bond coming out this week after all the noise that we've been kind of hearing. There's been YouTubers out there with millions of views on videos, 500,000 views on videos talking about the death of Xbox and Xbox going this direction and the hardware dying. They have now come out again and reiterated what their direction is, that they are going to be making hardware, that they're teaming up with others, things that we have kind of talked about, them diversifying. They are breaking the mold of what we consider traditional in the console space, right? Whether that is what you consider is unvaluable to you now, because that is happening, because these games are going to more platforms, because more people are getting access to content than ever before, is going to be up to you. But I think maintaining compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games is important, because I think that this is, well, not even think, I believe that this is people's number one strain point as far as their concern for Xbox goes. If you get rid of the console, are you telling me that I will no longer have access to my content, to my library, to games that I have bought, have built up, or are you abandoning the box and I'm no longer going to be able to play these games? Now, again, this week, they also talked about backwards compatibility once again. And AMD did the same thing this week and came out on their own, doing their own 1-minute video, expressing that we're working with Microsoft on backwards compatibility, giving people that option. I don't know if this option is 100% the best option. What I do know is, as a consumer, this is the most consumer forthright direction that any other gaming company is offering me in the industry. And they are saying the right things, and I believe this is completely different than anything else that you can compare it to, right? Because people say, oh, well, you see what they did with Surface, well, you see what they did with Mixer, you see what they did with these things. I do think, well, not even think, I know for sure that Xbox is not dumb enough to believe that they can leave your library behind after continuously reiterating that they want to bring your library forward and give you more access to that content. If the next Xbox hardware is more PC-like than you have ever experienced before, you have access to more stores than you did before, not just Xbox. And I get the conversation, well, what does Xbox get out of this? People are just going to buy their games on that store instead, and Xbox is losing out. That's not the point, because they're putting games everywhere anyway. The only thing that they're doing differently is they're going to be making their own bespoke box until 20, 30 years down the road. Maybe they see it as irrelevant and maybe they'll stop then, but they are also going to be allowing other OEMs, second and third party manufacturers, to also develop their version of the Xbox. I believe there's going to be parameters going to have to be met, all these great things. You know, Pong, you had mentioned the whole phone strategy that we had kind of talked about and teased and said, oh, you know, maybe consoles go that direction. Maybe that is what something that Xbox does in doing it this way. Hey, we still have our own, but we got other people that make one. Hey, these people are going to make their version of the Series S, kind of like how you have with video cards right now. Not everybody gets a Founders Edition that comes directly from NVIDIA. You get aftermarket, or you get it from ROG, or you get it from EVGA. You get it from from whatever different manufacturer. There are things that are like this that exist now. The main issue that I continue to have a hard time understanding as far as what people have an issue with is if the main concern is you losing your library or not being able to have access to that content, whether that is the concern, truly the concern or not, because a lot of the times it sounds like you're more concerned about the actual plastic going away or Xbox stepping out of gaming, which I think is a null and void point at this sector, at least in my thoughts. Right? Everybody can feel how they want to think. I see the vision. I have talked about this vision. I continuously iterate on, hey, they're moving towards the digital era. They seem to be trying to work towards maybe giving ownership of our games, which if they do it this way, if you're going to give me Xbox Anywhere, where I have access to my library anywhere through Xbox, there has to be some licensing things happening in the background. There has to be some form of ownership happening in the background or something. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I am being hopeful and there's a bunch of copium in there or whatever term that people want to use. What I do know is as a consumer and as a gamer, Xbox has only continued to go grander as an ecosystem for me. Whether it be digital media, whether it be how I access my games, whether it be online, whether it be through matchmaking. Xbox has also demonstrated to me that they want to bring my stuff forward. Something that people said that they didn't care about. Oh, who plays old games? And if you're giving me the ability, if this is the dream that you have to make that become a reality. It's not up to me to determine how the business side of that everything is going to work, because obviously Game Pass is successful for you. You're dropping more heat in there than ever. You can't deny the value of Game Pass this year, at least. First 6 months of the year, you're on fire as far as Game Pass comes. The amount of value is astronomical. And they seem like they're trying to push the boundary of what we can do in the future. If things are going to become more PC-like anyway, to where devs can create one version of a game that is scalable because games are already being created on PC. I see a future to where we have more multi-plat games ever before, and we're playing the ecosystem war that, hey, if you want to play this PlayStation game, yeah, maybe you got to access the PlayStation Store. You can still play it on your PlayStation. You just won't have Xbox-like things, Xbox-like features. Compare it. Now we got to compete back on the hardware level again. Got to start doing things differently. Because if Xbox goes this PC-like level and gives you a console experience to where you can't tell the difference and your competitor doesn't offer you that, I think that is going to make people look at things kind of, okay, what is the value block there? But using it as a jump off point, Pong, how are you, especially with Sarah Bond coming out this week, and then AMD also backing Microsoft up and dropping a video behind them. Again, that's a business thing to do regardless, if you good business anyway. How are you feeling as somebody that was kind of like, I'm not quite sure about their direction, feeling like, you felt like they might get out of the console business even a little bit sooner, hardware wise, maybe earlier because they won't necessarily have a need to. If they play it a certain way. But has this week done anything or added anything, and what, not only from this article, what does it add anything to your thought process about the future, whether it be for Xbox or for console gaming, or because again, I mean, you're an advocate for console, console gaming 100%.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I feel like I am too, but
I don't think this changed anything for me, because I was still on the belief that they were going to be here for this next generation. After this point, that'll be the question. If they let third parties just take over from here on out. After this one, but this announcement didn't surprise me at all. The fact that they announced it this early, the way they dropped it on a random, what was it, Tuesday? A random Tuesday out of the blue, to confirm that they were going to stay in the hardware business. Again, it says everything. And honestly, Stu, like I said, I've said it a billion times, and we've been talking about this now for, oh God, I don't know, 2-3 years going on, speculation wise, as far as what the future was going to look like. I wish we were in a traditional console space.
Yeah.
Pure and simple. I do. But since we're not, what's the next best thing for me? If Xbox can deliver a seamless ecosystem amongst all devices in which I can pause. I've made this statement. This exactly sounded like what they're talking about throughout this whole entire thing, Steele. And this goes back to speculation starting about 2 years ago when we started talking about what next gen was going to look like.
Yeah.
If I could play on my phone, or let's say my handheld, my ROG Ally X, if I had one, again, I'm not interested in handhelds right now, but whatever, anything could change. But let's say I had a game and I was playing at work, Steele. And I took my 15-minute bathroom break and I was playing something and I put it on pause and left for the day, come home, and I get in my house and I flip on my box, whatever that console box looks like underneath my TV, and it connects to my ROG Ally X and says, oh, would you like to, I see you were playing GTA 6. Would you like to continue GTA 6 here? Just using GTA 6 because whatever.
Easy.
Would you like to continue? And you push one button and it's on my big screen. And I'm right where I left off, right? As seamless as that. I think that is the next best thing for me. And the second part of this, however, Steele, and it's something that we will have to wait and see, and this is all the work that's being done on the UI and this integrating a, cut down version of Windows, a trimmed down version of Windows integrated with the Xbox UI to pull all this off. If they can make a console that people are claiming is, it's just a PC now. I can't believe how you guys come up with arguments. I really have a hard time that you guys sit around and come up with this shit on a daily basis. Anyways, whatever you want to call it, I don't give a fuck. Call it a console PC, call it a living room PC. I don't care. Okay. Whatever the box is underneath my TV, if Xbox can pull it off where they get the Windows and the UI right, and they have this fully integrated into a box in which it seamlessly switches between the Xbox side and the PC side to give us the extra storefronts with Steam and GOG and Epic and all those, and I have access to all my libraries and all those spots, and it's seamless, and they create a box that is as convenient as my Series X currently is in my living room, but it does all of this extra stuff, plus gives me backwards compatibility. And I don't give, again, this whole argument. If you guys want to be physical, I have plenty of physical still left. In fact, I'm still buying some physical stuff from some games from 360 era, etc., PS3 era. I just picked up Magna Carta 2, by the way, which is a JRPG that's completely locked to Xbox 360. You can't play it anywhere else. I just got a decent deal on one. If you want to stay completely physical, your time is running out. But you can do that. Stay completely physical. But as far as backwards compatibility and bringing my library forward goes, okay, if they're going to give me an option I don't really care what that option is. If it's streaming, so be it. If it's streaming, if it's emulation, so be it. It's emulation. If it's hardware based, so be it. It's hardware based. As long as I have the option to play the games, it will be my choice whether or not I keep a Series X around or an Xbox 360 around or a PlayStation 3 around or a PlayStation 4 around if I want to play the older games natively. But at no time in this industry before now has this been a thing for console gamers. You have all been through this, the older generations. How many times were you traded in your entire library, your entire setup for the newest and latest and greatest? Maybe some of you were rich enough to keep it when you were kids. Maybe some of your families kept them around.
That wasn't the case.
But that wasn't the case. You had to make a choice. You had to switch over.
Yeah.
The same thing's going to happen here. You're going to have to make a choice of what you want to do. But for the first time, we have a company dedicated to finding some way, somehow, to make it so that you can carry your library with you as we move forward. And for me, that is a W. Is it going to be the most perfect experience of all time? No. I don't believe it probably will be unless it's absolutely native. Okay, I get that. But the technology is not stopping. They're not going to stop just improving it. They're talking about moving forward, getting better with this stuff. They're talking about upgrading all of their server blades to compete with NVIDIA and GeForce Now. They want to be on that level that GeForce Now is. And all I've heard from the GeForce Now players is okay, it's not quite native, but damn, is it pretty good.
It's close.
Okay, well, that's what they're trying to do. I'm cool with that. So we got a company who's actually trying to allow you to bring your library forward, and people are still going to bitch about it. Listen, y'all. Again, I wish it was the old way. I've said that many, many times. Steel disagrees with me. I wish exclusives were still all the rage. I wish we were still battling it out. I wish all of you Sony fans, right, had to cry as Microsoft bought up companies and took your games away from you. Right? I wish we were back in that competitive stage, not as an Xbox fanboy, because I don't fanboy anymore. I'm talking about the competitive nature of the industry.
Yeah.
I wish that was still a thing, but it's not.
Yeah.
So what are we doing going forward is my biggest question. What are you offering me as the consumer going forward that makes sense to me? I have a PC now, but I love my console. I still play my console more than I play my PC. Percentages are shifting here and there. But if you give me a box that allows me access to all my PC games my console games, easy, convenient access, I'm going to be on that box a shit ton, even if my PC gives me better settings. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be on that box a shit ton, even if it's using crutches like AI generation, frame generation, which Steel hates. I'm going to be on that box on my OLED TV more than I would be on my PC. Right, exactly. As long as there's no performance issues as far as the controls go. I'm going to be on that box more so. And there's one company talking about doing this, and that's Xbox right now. And they're trying something. And as far as the Play Anywhere titles go, whether or not Xbox gets a large adoption rate of Xbox Play Anywhere,
they're about to find out.
We're going to find out, but it doesn't fucking matter. If there are 3 games, which I already own that many, I own many more than that, right, that are Xbox Play Anywhere, that allow me to buy one version that I can play on multiple places, it's a win for me. That
instantly changes my decision. That instantly makes my decision. I'll start playing games on Steam if even if that's the case.
That's what I'm saying. And it might not be that might not be for everybody. And I'm not sitting here saying they're ever going to dominate Steam. Well, I've never said that once. You're right. Those games, those specific games.
It does offer Steam competition, though.
But what I'm saying is, why are we out here going, oh, Xbox is never going to get this to work. There's only this many games that are Play Anywhere. Who the hell cares? Yo, they're trying. They are giving you an option that no other company has willingly done.
They're doing it with second and third party too. Final Fantasy 16 is Play Anywhere.
Right.
That's wild. Square Enix is cool with it.
Somewhat, but mix and match, right? Because obviously a lot of their games aren't. But I'm saying it
It's a
doesn't
start.
matter to me. It doesn't matter to me whether it's 100%. This doesn't have to be an all or nothing situation. I don't know why we have to have all or nothing.
Yeah.
The fact that they're trying to do something different in this space is all I care about. And again, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and this whole gaming industry will move on. And for all of you that believe that Xbox will fail yet again and that this will be another wasted time opportunity, well, oh well. The industry will move on, and your favorite place to play, whether that's PC or PlayStation or Switch, will live on, will carry on, and life goes on. And this industry is not going to fall apart because Xbox tried to do something fucking different. This industry is going to fall apart because the heads of all of these large ass publishers and corporations across this entire industry don't fucking understand video games and are running them into the ground and running their devs into the ground with these astronomical freaking budgets and these crazy pipelines that are completely broken. That's what's going to ruin the top half of the gaming. But even if that all crashes, AA and indie scenes are still going to be here making games. There's too many gamers now.
Yeah.
There's way too many gamers for this industry to just completely die off.
There's way
So
too
if
many
Xbox
games.
goes away, some of y'all will get your wish. So why do you keep talking about this shit? It's never going back the way that some of us would like it to. So why do you guys fucking care? If you don't want to play on Xbox anymore, don't play on Xbox. Right? If you don't want to play on PlayStation anymore, like, again, first generation, I don't own a PlayStation. Been with them since day one, PlayStation 1. I'm not playing on PlayStation because they're not offering me anything I want to, including games, or very few. And it's not worthy. Nintendo, haven't been with them for decades. It's the choices are yours. And I just don't understand why people are so freaking, this is Xbox. Love them, hate them, be indifferent. They changed. I said this tons of times ago. What they sold us in the beginning of the generation, you can absolutely be mad about. What they sold in the beginning of the generation to what they're doing now is a complete 180. Completely. And you could be upset about that. You can be a Tim Dog all day long if you want to be. Right? But the fact that this is what they are now, and the fact that they're confirming still that they're still going to be in this game, and that they're still going to produce a box, whatever that looks like. And it might be multiple boxes because they said X boxes, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
So it might be multiple boxes. It might be their own multiple boxes. It might be, like you said, Steel, one of their own, and then third parties making their own versions, right?
I think that's what's
it could
happen.
mean we got to wait and see. But she also said in your hand. Does that just mean the ROG Ally X? Was those rumors of it being canceled completely internally? Not really true. And it's just really is on the back burner. And they might still explore making their own Xbox handheld as well. The fact that they're coming back this generation and trying really has a whole lot of people upset. And again, you don't have to agree with it. You can downplay everything that they're doing if that's what you wish. But to me as a consumer, I look at it and go, they're giving me benefits that I'm not getting anywhere fucking else. Nowhere else. And again, you don't have to be on board with my benefits. My benefits are my own as a gamer. I'm a completely different gamer than a lot of fucking people out here. But to me, this is the best thing that they could do still. And the partnership with AMD is obviously strong. This idea, because Lisa Su went on to talk about integrating the chips along with the AI, they are going to push some boundaries, which I always believe is a good thing in this industry. If it's not always a success, them pushing forward with how much they've invested in AI, and I'm not talking about AI on the dev side, I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about AI in the games, like we've talked about, Steel, like full-fledged AI NPCs, games that are adapting on the fly, that don't have a set, beginning, middle, and end. They have a
more variety than
real life variety, depending on what you do in the world, because the AI can change and do a bunch of shit that you never expected to. Yeah. That's the stuff that I'm looking forward to. And Microsoft has invested so heavily in AI, they're going to push this shit out and they're going to try. And that's the stuff that I want to see. So this commitment from them and AMD to go forward with this and to try to create a box in which my entire library, including my PC library, comes over with me is very appealing to me. I said this from day one, Steel, going back years to when we started talking about this. If they were going to do this type of console, that I would still be sold on it. Even with a PC, a very, very capable PC, I would be sold on having that box as long as it's convenient like a console. If it's convenient like a console, they get this UI worked out, and I can just switch seamlessly between Steam and GOG and Epic and then Xbox, I'm in. I'm in, Steel.
And to Nixie's point, he says, he mentioned earlier that that's something that already exists. Yes, there are operating systems that you can install, like Bazai as an example, boot straight into Steam, have access to your library. You can make it simple, make it, and there is a lot of that. Now, is that something that the common consumer is just going to do?
No,
they aren't. Now the Steam, that's what makes the Steam Deck so appealing as well. Right. Because again, it's the ease of use, and it's about making it more consumer friendly and actually bringing the approach to the forefront. And Microsoft deliberately working on a UI, their own operating system to make it better, and seeing how much and to what lengths they're willing to integrate gaming into their ecosystem further. Right.
And that UI is going to come to PC too, Steel. They're going to offer that UI to PC too. This UI is going to go everywhere.
So so people that want gaming PC specifically, for example, like you, Paul, who are, maybe you get it pre-built. And those people who say, hey, I want a gaming PC. Okay, you got a gaming PC. Now, can you go into desktop mode? Sure. But you have a processor, a different line of Ryzen, whatever the case may be, specially built, whatever. In that hardware that you can get with upgradable parts, if you wanted to do that. Or maybe that creates a different market of where you can send it in and have somebody upgrade. Whatever the case may be, again, you still have to make it consumer friendly. Once you start opening panels up and all that, you're doing a lot. But I just think there's a lot of, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with adapting the PC platform. Because I do think the end game should be, hey, let's allow the devs to create one version of the game so that we can just scale the game up and down. Like you said, the concern is money, right? I think the easiest way to save money on across the board is make everybody else fight on a software standpoint. They can also do hardware and, hey, PlayStation, prove to me that the PlayStation is the better piece of hardware. Point blank, period. You used to do that with CDs. You did it with TVs early on. Like, there was reasons. You were doing things different versus any other device that was, or any other piece of hardware that is out there. The PSP, you made Nintendo look at things differently, quite obviously. And they've leaned into it hard ever since. While you gave up on it. You got all these consoles you selling. Xbox, the same thing. What is until somebody can tell me what the difference is in the hardware today other than an SSD, what are we talking about? You can't compare it to previous years, but you want them to play the same game. Xbox did it for 2 generations. And are now finding out that people want to play their games wherever they are. Things are different, man. We are going to find out whether this works or not. And I think that we should enjoy the ride for what it is. I don't regret spending $20 a month on Game Pass. And it's weird that people make you feel like you have to double guess yourself or feel bad that you're not supporting the developer. Like, you still can't buy the game if you want to have access to it. And then, matter of fact, it's like now I'm double guessing my purchase of Final Fantasy 16 on Steam because I have an Xbox that Final Fantasy 16 is out on now. I can get access to Final Fantasy 16 through the Xbox PC app. I would have had 2 versions of the game I could have played wherever I wanted, between the box and then my PC. Play in the living room, play it out here. Like, it's just the concept of that. And yeah, if I had another PC, sure, I could do the same thing. And maybe that's going to be the benefit. That's what has my interest as far as the Xbox Ally. And yeah, you can get an Xbox, you can get a PC-like handheld device right now that you can hook up, but I want something that's going to be in this moment. You know what I mean? That has that UI feature, that does have the easy use, and I can play with, tinker with if I want to. The newest tech that's out there. It being Xbox, again, I'm an Xbox fan. I come out on the front line for that all the time. I feel like I'm more of an Xbox fan than most Xbox fans are. You can say, yo, still, you cap for Xbox even when they didn't have games. I'm over here bigging up second and third party games, talking about the East. I'm excited Black Desert is in Game Pass since 2017. And y'all are like, oh, okay, they ain't got no games in Xbox though. But I'm putting fucking 1,000 hours in Black Desert. And it was only available on Xbox to start, as an example. I played the game for years. Xbox continues to prove to me that what's ecosystem is worth it to me. And if they are able to trudge this path, again, if they're burning money, then they're burning money. I want access to my library still. And until they burn me on my library to where I can't access my content, especially from the Xbox One bare minimum moving forward, yes, give me my older games as well. But the likelihood of me having a 360 game, sure, give those people an option. You have Xenia, you have emulators that exist on PC currently. That's the thing that blows my mind about this. There's people emulating PS3 games on PC right now, but PlayStation can't figure out how to emulate PS3 games. You have an instant doorway. Your PlayStation 5 Pro could have so many more benefits. Why are we settling for what they're telling us when they're not even selling us on anything that's really on the hardware side? Other than SSDs, what are we talking about? So if they got to implement AI hardware, AI tech, AI whatever, obviously we're moving this direction. This is going to be a part of something for the future. It's not put on hold. Nobody's trying to stop it for real. We have to start embracing and start thinking about things a little bit differently. Stop being trapped in the 80s and 90s, how this shit used to be done. Don't you want more people playing games than ever before? Don't you want these devs? I thought it was about the devs. Oh, we want the devs to get paid. You're playing, you don't even know it. And there's games that are out there that may interest you that you're missing out on.
Right.
Just because they're not available to you. Those devs could get paid. You could be somebody that paid that dev $10 and maybe does something for them. Maybe they are become the new AAA quadruple studio that becomes in existence like we're seeing out of the East, where they're taking these steps forward. Now, why do these devs have to create gotcha games first in order for them to put a solid game out? That's the revenue that they got to acquire, because if you take too big of a leap and your game falls, that's the end of your studio, and that's you getting out and you jumping out of the game industry because everything is trash and gamers don't know what they want. Like that, these are the arguments that we're having right now. The industry don't know what we want, even though I feel like we keep telling them and they choose to ignore it. We as the consumer still have the power to make the choices that we can to help shape the future of the industry. If this leads to us having some form of digital ownership, great. I don't think Xbox should be moving to being some form of a monopoly. And I don't think that that's necessarily the plan. Maybe it is. Maybe it ain't. Is this a big evil Microsoft move? It can't be, with how much people deny that this is going to work for them. The only issue that I'm finding people have now, more so than anything, is that people don't have faith in this direction. Sure. They feel like you feel like you're going to lose something. You're not saying, oh, I don't. You're not saying it's not good. You're just saying, oh, I feel like I'm going to lose something. I don't think you are. I think, why would you at this point? Put the onus on the corporation. Make them work harder for your dollar. If the price of games are going to keep going up, if it's going to be $70, $80, $90, the 5% going to continue to buy less games, or going to be the only ones that are investing into the gaming industry, mainly. and we're good, and we'll continue to get broken games day one. Or we could try to see if we can move some things forward. And again, it's crazy how consistent that they have been. Because you say, oh, Xbox hasn't kept the same messaging this entire time. Things keep changing. And hey, with the last 2 years, at least the last year for sure, their messaging has started becoming extremely consistent. So, Amy, take it for what you want. Again, if you don't believe in what Xbox is doing, sell your console and don't play Xbox games.
Yeah, I guess that would come down to it. It's choice. No, it is. But people say that all the damn time, and it's true. And again, I don't care when the other side says it, right? Oh, don't buy a PlayStation. Don't play PlayStation. If you hate PlayStation that much, I agree. I mean, don't. I mean, again, speak with your wallet. If it's not speaking to you, it's not speaking to you. Again, I was been that way for a long ass time. So it's just choices. And like I said, these arguments about what Xbox is doing, nobody knows how this is going to go. Sure. Yeah. You could certainly look at things and project out. That's what we all do, right? And sure, some people will have rose-colored glasses and some people won't have glasses at all, right? And there's all perspective. Like Nixie keeps saying, it's subjective, right, Nixie? Like, again,
of course it is.
Your points are subjective.
Opinion.
Your points are subjective. Our points are subjective. It's all subjective. You could absolutely be 1000% right. I've talked about how I don't like this. Again, I don't like this. And yes, I've brought up Microsoft's past about how they will ditch things when they don't work out. It doesn't matter how big they are. Again, they bought Nokia and ditched it. I bring up these points all the time. I can see a spot where Microsoft just goes full third party and stops making all hardware. I can see that day. Like, that's not a big issue to me. It's just that we're getting choices. And again, these choices to me, and I'll only speak for myself, are valuable. And I think that I've said this for a long time since we started talking about this. They have a mountain to climb. And no, as everybody's talking about in the chat as well, I've agreed with all of you that they're not gonna somehow encroach upon Steam's territory. That's not gonna happen. Okay, Steam has proven time and time again. Epic is giving away free games and couldn't make a freaking dent. Okay, they're not going to encroach on that market. All I've ever said is that if they are going to continue forward with hardware, that they had to be compelling still, that they had to make a compelling argument. And if they can make a compelling argument in a box that is as convenient as a console, that can offer you something like access to your other libraries all in one spot without any work on your part having to be done, just out the box, plug and play the way the consoles are now. But it is this multi-layered system that allows you access to all these other storefronts. And it allows you an easy plug and play setup for your big screen TV. I think that is a compelling argument for some people to have that as a companion device in their living room, even if they're, let's say, PC only players, right? Or if they're PC, PlayStation player, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. That to me, if they have a library elsewhere, whether it's Steam, whether it's GOG, whether it's Epic, or whether it's all three or whatever the case may be, I think they could do okay in that space. I'm not saying dominate. I'm not saying crush PlayStation and no, of course not. But I'm saying that they can make a compelling argument to be a box in your living room and to expand out into the Xbox ecosystem. That's all I've ever said that this could be. And again, if they make this seamless still, right? And yes, the common player won't care. The younger gens won't care about this shit right now, right? Unless it becomes a talking point, they won't care. But for the gamers, if you can make it a seamless setup so that if you own a game, you're playing that game and you can just transition amongst different devices very simply, I think that does have some marketability. Again, they got to prove it. They got to show it. They got to get people to buy in, which is what they're trying to do right now with the Xbox Play Anywhere. But if they can do enough, I think they've got a compelling argument to next gen, have a respectable device that is still selling very well, that again shows and does something different than what PlayStation is currently doing and what Nintendo is obviously doing at this point. And that's all I was talking about. If Xbox was going to go down this road, that's what they do. And I think they're putting their best foot forward still, because the stuff that we were speculating on is like exactly what they're talking about doing now. And it seems like they are going for that, obviously, one UI, one ecosystem amongst all devices. Take your game wherever you are, take your saves wherever you are, play at that exact moment where you left off, wherever you are. I think that's what they are truly going for. And I think that's speaks to me. It speaks to me, at least. So anyways.
Nixie says it's crazy. People can't grasp the thought of that. Like, just have basic business acumen. The thought of what? Like, what you diving into there?
He's talking about Fahim. Game Pass won't work on PlayStation and Nintendo because you would be eat into their money.
One UI doesn't mean ish if the software doesn't come along with it. And I mean, again, that's my point though. That's my point with it as well. You can't leave your software behind. And I don't think and that's not their plan. Again, they keep reiterating about backwards compatibility. So it's like, it's hard for me to just say, oh, my Xbox library is going to go away because Xbox is leaving. It's like, but they're not going anywhere. So I don't think there's anything for anybody to be worried about currently. And again, I mean, yeah, it's all of this is going to be all about perspective, man. Like at the end of the day, it'd be hard for me to sit here and be hard pressed about. I could have told you 10 years ago that I think Xbox is going to go more digital. And again, they tried to, but they tried to do it with the Xbox One. I mean, I couldn't tell you that there wasn't going to be exclusive the way that there was before. I couldn't have guessed that, right? If you would have asked me 5 years ago, three years ago, yo, Steel, do you think Gears, Halo, or Forza is going to ever come to a PlayStation? I would have told you no, because that didn't make sense. But you put Steel in front of more people. And again, I've mentioned this before. Did I think it would ever happen? No. Have I mentioned before, though, I would like for it to happen? I've been saying that about Halo. I've been saying that about Gears when I start seeing the fall off. Hey, Xbox, maybe you should just introduce these games to a bigger audience, and that would help you revitalize or fix the issues you got internally, whatever the money issues are, whatever the case may have been. I've been feeling that way. So it's like, hey, I've wanted this to happen. I get people don't like it because it gives you no value for your box or whatever. But again, is it about the games? Do we care about the software that's being developed, the devs who are behind the software? Because the hardware is just a vehicle. And if things are going to go this direction anyway, I mean, again, I hate to just feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, but it's just like, I feel like I'm trying to like double down or reiterate what my point is, and I feel like you guys know. You guys get it.
No. And the other thing that hasn't been lost here still either is, again, if what they talked about like 2 months ago, Steel, with their AI and their investment and finding a way to bring back old OG Xbox games and other games that have been out of print, that have lost code, having AI be able to rebuild those games and allow those games to be played on modern consoles and update them still without a whole lot of dev work being done. That's also the stuff that gets me exciting. And there's one company, big company, that's currently working on that stuff, and it's Xbox. Again, I get the arguments back and forth amongst fanboys, like whatever. It is what it is. Like I said, I can't believe how much you guys come up with this shit. But anyways, I get that stuff. And I understand if you're saying, nope, Xbox is going to fail. This is it. It's over. They're going to go full third party. Okay, fine. But them trying this different stuff in the meantime could bring some really great stuff to the gaming industry. And I think that's been lost. Xbox has pushed the gaming industry forward, and it's always forgotten. A lot of the stuff that they've brought between the OG Xbox and Xbox 360 modernized gaming, right? Sure, you could say, well, PC was starting to do that. Yeah, but we know we're talking about the console generations. They've done a lot of innovating in the console space, technology wise that has helped this gaming industry tremendously and shaped it into what it is today, whether they ever get credit or not.
For selfish reasons or not. Like
right. Exactly. Right. No, exactly. Of course it's business, bro. It's business. Like that's all it ever is. But I want to see them try this. Since again, there's no going back. They're not changing. They're not going to go do traditional console. If they're not going to do traditional console, then go out on a limb and try some new crazy wild shit. And you're right, Nixie. I don't think the next Xbox will have a disc drive at all. Now that presents a problem. I think
you don't think it's going to have a disc drive? Oh, you think it's going to do the optional route?
They better have an optional route unless they're going to find a way to give you credit for your physical copies into a digital form. They better have an option to truly say that you can bring your library forward. It's going to be crazy
because you're going to have to prove that you own that disc.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, we talked. I mean, that's what they're trying to do with DRM with Xbox One. Remember, that's what they were trying to do with DRM. Mm-hmm. You were going to be able to turn your discs in and get a code, and it was going to give you credit for that. So unless they figure all that out, Steel, and find a way to sell it properly, I think they got to give you an optional drive that you can buy so that you can still play your Xbox Series discs, and Xbox One discs, etc. But I don't think we're getting a disc drive built in. Hell no. Of course not. No. No.
And again, like Fahim, I get when people say that as well. He says Coke doesn't sell Pepsi.
Yeah.
The only thing, it's like Adidas doesn't sell Jordans. They don't sell Reeboks. They don't sell I hear you. Like I definitely get you.
So
I just don't think that applies to gaming that way. Because you still have competition in the software itself. There's a company making games from PlayStation that are known to make a certain style of game. That's the whole conversation that has been behind this company. Xbox has been known for as Western RPGs and multiplayer. That's what they are known for. Why can't you offer competition through software and find other ways to be competitive on hardware? Because how are they being competitive right now? If you are able to play the same games and the only thing that is separating you out is a piece of hardware that literally does nothing different than the hardware that you have in your living room, if you are part of the Series and PlayStation 5 generation, what is the point? Other than breaking people off into different pieces of hardware and saying that, hey, some people can't play this game because I decided that these people can't play this game for X amount of time. Cool. But we're also moving into the digital era. You're also complaining about you not being able to afford to make games. Multiple things are true. Something has to change. I don't know how better to explain that. Business-wise, they're still competing with games. I thought it was about the games. You bought hardware in the past to access said games. Hey, now you can still do that. Nintendo offers you that. PlayStation is obviously offering you that. If that is the way that you choose to interact with your media, then guess what? You can still do that. Yeah, and then physical is the minority. It is becoming more and more of a fact. But if that is what you enjoy, you want to have that experience, fine, have that experience. I think Xbox is telling you they still are going to offer you that, at least for right now, while still doing this other thing. I think that's interesting because PlayStation also had their little meeting while we've been away and announced that they want to do similar things as well, although they still believe in the exclusive strategy. Fine, keep doing things the way that you were doing them before. But Square Enix has already stated they're not going to be exclusive no more. Hell, the studio from Helldivers 2 said they're not under PlayStation anymore. Bungie is releasing There are games everywhere. Lost Soul aside, the next big PlayStation title that's coming out is releasing on PC day and date. That's how Xbox started. Releasing games to PC. What is wrong with more people having access than ever before and forcing these companies to compete better on a software level and find other ways to get people to buy into your hardware? Create an ecosystem, give people a reason to believe in that ecosystem, and then go from there. Right now, the same way that people feel very passionate about PlayStation, they have a reason to be there. I see no reason. The games there are not good enough for me to be over there. But guess what? I give you a Gears. I want to rock with you on there. I give you a Halo. I want to rock with you on there. How about even a Forza Horizon? We can rock over there. So I want to see more people be able to play more games than ever before and have access in different ways than they have ever had before, and see where that takes us from there. Nixie says Arrowhead was never fully under Sony. The IP married them. They're not going anywhere. I think that's what you're saying. Yeah. But they said that Arrowhead did say they're funding their own game by themselves. Their next game, at least. Doesn't mean they still can't do stuff with PlayStation. That doesn't mean they can't do stuff with anybody. But I'm just, Gogo says, don't worry, Sony will continue to block games for you guys. Microsoft's going to do the same thing. Obviously, again, Mecha Break's a good example of that. Mecha Break is not going to be on PlayStation when it releases July 1st. And there can be an audience that says, yo, Steel, you played Mecha Break day one and it wasn't as good as it could have been a year later when I played it. Sure. But it's a game that's out right now, and I have the platform to access it. That will be out. I agree, Nixie. I do think Arrowhead's a top 5 dev. They created a very unique game. And they got a good gameplay loop. It's not a game for me. I think it's pretty good. Gets pretty whack after some time. But again, they've also updated it. We were playing 40 hours, 50 hours of the initial experience. I haven't been back. I'm not really into PvE experiences like that. There's things that layer on top of that, right? There's other games I can play to get that. And that's the other problem that's always going to come back to. There's other games. I'm constantly having to make a decision. The decisions are only going to become more difficult. That's what's crazy. Because the quality seemingly, because of what we have come to expect, is already here. When it's coming from teams in Europe, teams out of Japan, teams out of Korea, teams out of China, teams out of Vietnam, teams out of Africa, when it's coming from these different places and they're hitting higher than we expected for them to, the bar is only going to get raised as far as our level of expectation goes. So, it's like a buffet, man. That's why it's like, at least on the Xbox side of things, they're fulfilling the thing that people complained about for the longest time. So we'll see how that goes right now. Now, with that, we can make a slight turn into something that's interesting as well. What's up?
Before I forget,
no,
can I do a little update real quick?
Yeah, what you got?
2 weeks ago, we talked about Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yes.
Okay. And obviously, I'm super hyped for Final Fantasy Tactics.
Right. You're interested, yeah.
The assumption was by the entire Final Fantasy Tactics community was that War of the Lions was the version that we were getting.
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah, that's what you felt like.
The devs have now come out and said that's not happened.
Huh?
So, that's not the case. So, they are not using the War of the Lions, and the War of the Lions content will not be available on release. Now, some people are speculating, guessing that they're going to launch it as DLC down the road. But in the interview, I didn't get that impression. So I just want to make that correction for anybody who does come here every Saturday and listens to this stuff. That they are doing this based on they redid the original version. Now, as I stated when I talked about it in the Final Fantasy community, there is a group of purists that believe the only way to play Final Fantasy Tactics in its true form is to know Japanese and to play the original Japanese version. Okay.
Okay.
Because the translated version to English was choppy. That's why War Alliance is considered probably the better version of Final Fantasy Tactics in the West, because it just made more sense. They added characters, they added content, they added a bunch of story to it, and they went back and rewrote a lot of the translation to a much better English version. Okay, they took it to high English, as I was telling you, like a Shakespearean style to fit. So, but the devs confirmed that's not happening. So I just want to make that correction. Now, what they've said they're doing is they're redoing the original version, and they did rewrite it. And Steel, they also admitted, and this is not uncommon for old games, but this is the sad state, and this is why, again, that we talk about backwards compatibility and all this kind of stuff, and how important it is to be able to preserve these games. They lost all the code to the original Final Fantasy Tactics. The code's gone. Yeah, because back then they admitted that it was overwritten because they had to reuse storage space. They did not have unlimited storage back in the day. That's why so many older video games, that's what I was talking about with the AI that Microsoft is talking about, being able to rebuild old games without the code and have them be like the original versions and play on modern consoles or PCs. That's why it's so important, because they're going to be able to go back, if they can pull it off, and look at games that have disappeared and bring them back to life again. So they actually had to, I just wanted to add this to me correcting and saying that we're not getting the War Alliance content. They had to go back and just build this game from scratch by replaying the original version over and over again, all the devs, and going from memory, because a lot of them are the original devs from the original Final Fantasy Tactics. And that's how they redid this entire game. It's basically a brand new game. Right. Or a brand new game, because they're building it from the code up, because they don't have the original code. So this is like all new. So, but yeah, I just wanted to correct that, because that's what everybody thought this was going to be. And it turns out they had a nice big interview, and they were like, yeah, no.
Does that excite you more?
No. I'll have to see what they did. If they rewrote it, right, and it makes sense, great. That's fine. But the original version's included, right? So it's going to have that choppy, if you want to go back and see how it was played originally. But they also said that they're not bringing in the War Alliance characters that they added to. There was some cool characters from there. And there was a couple classes as well, job classes, that they confirmed are not going to be in this version either. That was in that version, because they changed it up. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. A little bit, but again, I don't care. I'm getting Final Fantasy Tactics, bro. Getting Final Fantasy Tactics.
Well, I was expecting for you to kind of say the opposite, knowing that they kind of had to rework it from the ground floor up. I think that'll be excited.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's still a GOAT. I mean, there's no, again, I'm getting a GOAT back again. I was just, okay. All right.
Okay. Then the man Cunningham with the 5 bones. He says, thank you for the engaging content and keeping an old man company on another long work day, gents. Keep doing the Lord's work. Hey,
OG.
Man, appreciate you, bro. You've been
rocking
with us since
the 5 bomb.
Much love.
Choo-choo, motherfucker. Choo-choo.
The next thing I was going to get into here, just because I found this interesting, because some talks have spun up this, I believe it was this week as well, about PlayStation. Speaking of which, acquiring this good one right here called Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers Games restructures, all the better to drown us in Batman and Harry Potter games. This is coming from PCGamer.com, from Rich Stanton. They're focusing on 4 core games, and that is it. This is going to be a interesting piece of content here. Ooh, look at that. Oh no, I wanted that screen. Yeah, that screen is fine. I just didn't need that window. There we go. Bada bang, bada boom. All right. Warner Brothers Games has announced a new restructuring 6 months after the departure of its president, David Haddad, as it continues to reorient itself around 4 franchises. The new structure will see WB Games split into 3 divisions based on what the company considers its 4 most important gaming properties: Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, and DC, but mainly Batman. This has been the direction of travel for WB Games for some time now, and seems to be prompted by a couple of high-profile failures in particular. The most prominent is Rocksteady's Suicide Squad, a live service title that flopped and apparently cost WB Games an eye-watering $200 million. The other is Multiverses, a pretty decent fighting game that included many WB properties, but failed to catch on after one attempt at a relaunch. The company said, "That's all, folks," at the start of the year. I do think that this was some of the dumbest shit that I've ever seen a company do. Why would you why would you release a game and then pull it for a year and then re-release it? You might as well just said it was early access and built it with the community. I think you did yourself worse favors by doing this, and that's what caused this to be a failure. But that, neither here or there. They did what they felt like they needed to. Notable in both cases is that these were rifing with more esoteric WP properties. In Suicide Squad, you play as a cast of relatively minor DC villains, while Multiverses was built around characters like the Iron Giant, Steven Universe, and Banana Guard. So it was very much seems like one of the lessons WB Games has taken is not to build games around only its very biggest brands and tentpole releases like Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know if they necessarily get that either, because they released their Quidditch version, and I haven't heard a goddamn thing about that since that shit's released.
Because it was terrible.
I heard 3-bit. I heard 3-bit said it was decent. You know what I'm saying? But
Go look at it. It's terrible.
I mean, that's why I didn't play it.
It's like a PlayStation 2 game.
I had no interest. I had no interest. But you say you now know that you need to focus around your biggest brands. But why wasn't the Quidditch game part of Hogwarts Legacy? Why wasn't it just built into the game? Feels like you just wasted additional time. I mean, I would consider that another fail or another negative to what they're speaking to here. Anyway, in November 2024, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav was explicit about this, saying the publisher would be narrowing its focus to DC, in particular Batman, Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat, and Game of Thrones. Mortal Kombat's another game that's kind of on a downturn right now. And I don't know how well the Game of Thrones mobile game is doing, and that did end up coming out. It looked like it was decent combat wise, but they said we're through some of the worst, and it's been pretty and it hasn't been pretty on the gaming business. We have 4 games that are really powerful, says Zaslav. We're going to go away from trying to launch 10, 12, 15, 20 different games. They all weren't releasing that many before. So, okay, that's weird. I'm gonna scroll a little bit further down. Our company is home to some of the biggest franchises in the world, and we're optimizing our team structure to develop long-term franchise roadmaps to delight players and fans of Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, and DC games, said Perret. The WB Games restructuring takes place at a parent company. Warner Brothers Discovery prepares to split into 2 companies. WBD Streaming and Studios, led by CEO David Zaslav, and WBD Global Networks, led by CFO Gunnar Weinfels. WB Games will be part of the streaming and studios division. As what we can expect to see from WB Games in the future, there will inevitably be a Hogwarts Legacy sequel. Mortal Kombat will likely roll on as ever, and I fully expect Rocksteady is in the early stages of a new Batman game. I mean, I thought we knew that already. So, another article that's kind of written kind of haphazardly as somebody that has not been aware of what is happening or the previous WB interests. They can touch on some of it, especially on the failure side of things. And WB does have a lot going on. Again, I just feel this is another example of just bad management on the side of WB and not understanding the IP that they do have and using it properly. Again, Suicide Squad. I still will stand on the side of I don't understand why people didn't like it. I'll be, again, forthright and say maybe it's because I'm not the DC comic dude. I still feel like it was the best example of the Suicide Squad that I've seen to date. I liked the story that they told there. A lot of the hate that the game got early on, I felt was misplaced, which come to find out seasons later, it was exactly what people kind of guessed, which people, oh, you can guess every other story, but you couldn't guess this one. But you were mad when Batman died, though. But then come to find out Batman never died. He was just a clone. Oh, well. People didn't like it, though. Didn't do well, no matter how I feel about the game. The same thing with Gotham Knights. Thought that was decent as well, which is, again, their property. I don't know if going back to Batman has to be the answer to everything. I mean, again, I do want them to go to Batman Beyond. I think that'd be super dope. Again, we are in the future. Technology is moving forward. You have to move the Arkham series forward as well. If you're going to do it, I feel like that's the easiest way to take it. Do I have faith that that's what they're going to do? I don't know. They still haven't given us an Arkham Knight trilogy and brought that forward, knowing how great those games are and how much you want to focus on Batman. Just some things don't quite add up. Like, again, I know we're not the CEOs in these business meetings talking to these people and trying to figure out what's going to be best for a business. But at the same time, Pong, I just feel like sometimes I walk around just like I just pace throughout my house, or I'm cleaning, or I'm doing whatever. And I'm thinking about some of these moves that are being made in the industry. I'm like, bro, these are easy turnarounds that you could be creating, easy money plays that you could be making, and you don't lean further into it. The Nemesis system, y'all still aren't doing nothing with that, and just because Wonder Woman didn't come together, that's another one that you can add onto the list. Wonder Woman's not even coming out now. So with that said, how are you feeling about the news that we got from WB? I believe that was this past week, about them kind of divesting. And also to add on to that, and I'll use this as my jump off point to you. I don't see PlayStation acquiring WB. Why? Because of the licensing more than anything. I think it's going to be goddamn expensive to get everything that you're trying to get from Mortal Kombat, DC, which they're not just going to stop at Batman. They're going to charge you for the other characters as well. And everything else is going to come with that. I mean, Hogwarts at this point, you got some high. WB is going to be feeling pretty damn good about that game doing well. So as much as they may be willing, I don't know if that's going to be the move. I don't know if necessarily Xbox is the move. I'd like to see maybe Amazon maybe jump in there to offer some competition. I still don't believe in what Amazon has going on right now, especially with how they've handled Throne and Liberty. But hey, it's neither here or there. But what do you think about this whole WB snafu? We've been kind of off and on about them. Thought they were going to do one thing. We thought Batman was coming to Xbox at one point because of how the conversations were going before ABK happened. So now we see how things have gone. As a fellow enjoyer of Suicide Squad, and also thought that Gotham Knights was decent when we played in co-op. What you thinking about these moves now?
Another desperation shot from a company that obviously at the top doesn't have a clue still. I mean, again, I don't think I'm going out on a limb here. We've seen a lot of these companies. The worst thing that ever happened to WB was when they were first trying to figure out what they were going to do, and the rumors had swirled that Microsoft Xbox was kicking the tires on WB. Before they did the Discovery combo. The worst thing that happened was Hogwarts Legacy took off. Because suddenly you had a bunch of WB higher ups who thought that this video game industry was easy. Because Hogwarts Legacy didn't come out of nowhere, because you're talking about one of the world's biggest brands, but you are talking about one of their studios who had done nothing of significance up to that point, or anywhere as close to what Hogwarts was, and Hogwarts blew the F up. And we all know that from that point on, they got this confidence. Oh no, we got this figured out. Oh, this is gaming's profitable now. Gaming is very profitable. No, we got to keep this around. We got to keep this division around. And that's when they did the merger with Discovery and combined forces. And then we know the rest, which Steele just laid out from the article history. So this doesn't shock me. It's just desperation move in my viewpoint. Like you said, Steele, we've pointed out, let's just take us out of the equation. Let's just talk about, since people, say, whatever. You got to be a part of this industry to have conversations. Let's talk about the journalists out there who've written articles too about easy W's that WB could have had all along. Steel. Now again, Gotham Knights was the failure, but how easy would it have been for them to remaster the Batman trilogy and bring it up to date, 60 frames on console, and re-released the trilogy as a remaster? How easy. Millions of people would have rebought it. Millions. They've been sitting waiting for that 60 frames patch. We've talked about it on the shows before. Sell it to us. We'll go buy it. They've had these W's and they chose not to take them. And they lost a ton of talent as well, Steel. That's the thing that the higher ups don't ever understand in this industry, no matter who they are. It always seems to be that, we can do this without them. We don't need those people that have been in this industry for 20 years. We don't need these people that have been in the industry for 30 years. We don't need these people who developed some of the biggest IPs in the world. Look at what EA did with BioWare. You can only lose so much talent. You can only lose so much creative genius. You can only lose so much leadership before it doesn't matter what you put out, it ain't going to be right. And I think that that's kind of what happened in some of their dev studios. And again, without Hogwarts Legacy, I think we would have seen a lot different, unfortunate situation long before this if it wasn't for Hogwarts Legacy. Now, the Mortal Kombat situation is obviously a weird one because this latest Mortal Kombat did nowhere
It's not doing
near
what it needed to, yeah.
Yeah, nowhere's near. I mean, it's already, rumored that the DLC has all been shut down. They're kind of done with it and they're moving on. That's the weird one. That doesn't make any sense. That should have been an automatic W, and it wasn't. So I think this is only a matter of time still. I think that they will have to sell off eventually. Now, the licensing is the weird part. That's why back in the day when we were doing acquisition season, it made the most sense for Microsoft just to buy the whole kit and caboodle. You buy it all. Studios, game studios, movie studios, TV studios, all of it. Production, you buy it all. And like I said back then, I thought Microsoft wanted to get back into the movie and TV side of things. And with all the IP they own, I still think they will. But that's why I guessed it. If you're just PlayStation, you're going to have to cut that deal. That's what we talked about back in the day with Xbox. If they weren't going to buy the whole thing, if they were just going to buy the dev studios, well, that makes zero sense unless you are also getting the licensing to the IP. That is going to be expensive. It is not something they're going to give away for free. Now, they are in a situation of coming up on desperation in a lot of ways. But could you potentially cut a good deal, especially with Sony being as big as they are with the movies and all that kind of stuff, right? And obviously WB's got their own side. But I'm saying, could they pull something off? Sure. Do I think they're going to? No, I don't think Sony's looking to make a purchase like this. I don't think the studios have enough talent internally outside of the Hogwarts team and outside of the Mortal Kombat team to justify a purchase of just the dev studios and then license everything else. I think it would have to rebuild. You would have to rebuild Rocksteady. Now we'll see what Rocksteady does if they're going to make this next Batman game. But I think you would have to rebuild the studios, and I just don't think that they're looking. Sony doesn't like projects. They didn't think they were getting a project in Bungie, and now look at what happened. Right? I just don't think they're looking for these kind of project type studios. They've tried to start teams like they picked up Firewalk, right, which was a new team, and they bought them early on. That didn't work out, right? They funded Jade Raymond's new studio and brought them in on board as a first party team. And now Jade's left, right? And we don't know what's up with their game, Fair Games. So I just don't think that this would be something that Sony's interested in. Do I think WB might look to sell eventually? Yeah. I don't know how much more they can take, but they do have Hogwarts Legacy 2 supposedly in production right now, which will be massive. As long as the team doesn't fuck it up, which I don't think they will. So Hogwarts Legacy 2, if the Batman game, they could pull it together, but we're talking about 5-6 years out, right? At least. So we're not going to see that for a while. And then, obviously whatever the Mortal Kombat team's working on, and we don't know what they're working on. So, this is a strange situation, but this all stems from the upper management, again, not having a clue what they were walking into or what they're getting into with video games, and not really having an idea on some early W's, some easy W's that they could have had still. And just, sending games out to die like they did. Again, no matter what we feel about it, still the word on the street was that game was donezo, right? And as much as we talked about it and said, nah, it's got, it's a good game and you got to give it a shot and it's got great combat.
That's how it goes.
It was doomed to fail, bro. It was doomed to fail. So, anyways, that's my thoughts. So I hope WB survives. Obviously, I think there's some really still big talent there. Hogwarts Legacy. I loved Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not even the biggest Harry Potter fan. I still loved Hogwarts, and I think Hogwarts 2 is going to be massive. So I think there's still some talent there. They still control a lot of IP. Obviously, Batman. It's a big one, but I think there's a chance here. Still, I think there's a chance they'll be okay, but I think they are in big trouble, and I think eventually they could wind up selling if they can't turn it around.
It's gonna be hard to tell, man. It's super concerning. I wanted them to see the success. Again, we were excited about Wonder Woman and seeing how that ended up turning out. It's just, again, it's just another example of top level things just not happen the way that it probably should. But again, they got to run their business, so I guess we'll see what ends up happening. Well, what you got next on your list? I don't have really anything else on my side of things that really that I want to jump into. We touched really most of what I had. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 won't have jetpacks. In case anybody wanted to know about that. When I say I'm completely checked out of Call of Duty, I'm not playing. I'm so dead ass. Like, even for the price of free, I'm skipping COD. I'm skipping COD this year. I'm not doing it. I'm cool. I'll see what Battlefield's giving me. I'm ready for that. I am gonna be the dude who's gonna choose Battlefield instead. Let's see. Minecraft is getting optimized. Shift Up selling 3 million. PC hit 1 million in 3 days. Well, I believe it was like way faster than it did on PlayStation. I mean, I give access.
It's 2 million plus 1 million, so 3 million total between the two sides, yeah.
And growing. And I mean, that was just in 3 days. So, in a month span, you can maybe sell another 2 million copies.
It's a bunch of gooners, man. That's the only reason. It's just a bunch of gooners, man.
Well, the other thing that people were adding to that is, that's China, though.
There's all these caveats. Oh, it's just this. Oh, it's just this. Why do people hate Eastern games so much?
I don't know, man. I mean, again, people were talking about the First Ascendant when we were talking about Gooner games. They were like, "Oh, well, that's why the First Ascendant did decent."
Why do people hate?
You see how it goes now.
Why do people hate beautiful people, beautiful characters? First Ascendant doesn't just have like girls, right? It's got handsome jack dudes as well.
It's got some dudes in there.
Dudes.
I mean,
it's got dudes as well. Yeah, well, of course. That's the majority of it, because the vast majority of gamers are guys. So again, that whole concept that it's 50-50 now is fucking bullshit. You and I have talked about that. That's bullshit. If you count this, if you count phone games, okay, well maybe I'll give it to you, but come on, man. The vast majority of everyday gamers still is male. So yes, of course the girls are going to get the most attention, but there are dudes in that. But I'm just saying, I just don't know why the hate for the Eastern games. Like, even at the shows this year, Steel, when people saw Eastern games, like,
they didn't like it.
People's reactions. I'm like, what?
I was mentioning it about what people were talking about in chat and stuff. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, again, I know a lot of people associate it with slop because, unfortunately, that was something that the Chrono Odyssey dev were talking about too, is how Western, I sent you that article as well, how Eastern devs look at Western devs and so forth and so on and so forth. I don't know. A lot of people associate those games with pay to win, or just being over the top, or being about naked chicks, or like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't. There's people asking for action games, and then get mad when an action game comes out and it has
that's what I'm saying.
over the top characters and all this, but it's like this stuff that was cool back in the day.
Okay.
So it's like,
back in the day, still, Eastern meant turn-based, right? Eastern meant anime style for the most part, right? And I understand, like, there's going to be a large group of people that don't want turn-based games, that don't want the anime style per se.
There's a lot of people who don't like Eastern games, though.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's all changed now. Now you're getting
So
realistic, kick-ass games. And did I get transported somewhere? Like, what do we do? Guys, go back and look at action movies from the 80s when they actually made action movies. Okay, that I'm comparing these to action games, video games, right? Go back and look at action movies. Action movies had violence, had cheesiness, had nudity, had all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Why all of a sudden don't we like
work.
games like this? Why are people against this? Instead, we want ugly characters, terrible slop writing, and okay action. That's because it's a Western dev. That's what we want instead. Like, I don't understand. The Eastern devs have a style that I completely understand won't convince everybody to play their games. However, they're writing their games. Look at how big martial arts movies are. How big were kung fu movies? How big
they were major back in the day. We're kind of getting that in games now. We're kind of getting that in games now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we're getting
100%.
those style in games now, and the Eastern devs are actually writing their games for the Western audience more so than ever
with us in
before.
consideration. Yeah, 100%.
And now like I said, it's just wild. All the reactions that I see from people. Oh God, more China, more Korea, more. Yeah. I'm like, what the? They're putting out some of the best quality content right now. Like literally putting out some of the best quality content. And you got, I've had enough of these. Okay, all right, whatever, man. Anyways, sorry, side rant. I just noticed it. Over. Obviously the showcase
season. Yeah, that was
and watching people's reactions. I was like, bro, what is going on here? So anyways.
nobody wants to play those Eastern anime titty games. I'm like, really, bro? I mean, I guess. I mean, again, there's a lot of horny people out here, bro. That shit sells. I mean, it is what it is. I get you, but like, that's not everybody. Like. Again, when you have the devs from these studios coming out and explaining the anatomy of a male booty compared to a girl butt, and like
he literally did, bro.
Maybe he's making shit up, but
no,
hey,
he was talking
I'm gonna
about
have
the
to watch
bone
the
structure.
video. I'm gonna have to watch.
He was talking about the bone structure and the pelvis and how it's tilted for women versus how it's.
I get it. He ain't got to explain it to me. I know why.
I know, but he was talking about fat displacement and how fat displacement works in a female body versus a male. Bro, the dude broke it all down. He knows.
I know
what he's talking about.
That's how I know. That's how I know. You know, just some things you ain't got to
exactly, Nixie. The most polished games. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. The most polished.
That is
games
true.
Too.
That is true. They are. Yeah. They do come out solid. I'm not gonna lie. Except for Chrono Odyssey, I don't know what happened with that. Maybe it was just me. Maybe it was just me. But no, it's been pretty.
No, I saw people talk about Chrono too. But yeah, no, I just don't get the Eastern hate right now. But anyways, I don't have any other topics, dude. I was going through
China, man. I guess.
There's not a whole lot of other topics, man.
I think I think Decado mentioned something in the chat. What was that? Oh, Fair Games being having their issues, but I believe we talked about that before.
We did talk about that a couple weeks ago. I think we did mention that for sure.
We got that locked in. Pragmata's looking good. Some more gameplay and stuff was shown to that. Some people are. Yeah, I forgot who it was specifically. Some people were like, "What if this is Mega Man?"
Oh my god! Like it becomes Mega Man. Somebody, maybe. I don't know.
They get that crazy with it. I highly doubt it.
The Death Stranding 2 footage. Kojima the Decima engine is just a gorgeous engine, but the new combat.
What he said,
showing combat. Yeah, go ahead.
There was a thing that he said, not only the combat, but as well.
Yeah.
But there was a thing where apparently too many people liked it, so he went in and did some more. He changed some things to make it more controversial.
To make it more weird?
Yeah, I guess so. So apparently that was something that went out there as well. He was like, it was something along the lines of, it was received too positively, so I went back in and changed some more stuff. to make it more controversial.
Okay, Kojima, whatever. Again, I like the dude. He pushes the industry forward. But that Decima engine, that opening sequence, I don't know if you watched it. You should watch it in 4K. That whole beach scene, and the opening of the Death Stranding 2 showcase kind of that they did, it's almost photorealistic. It is. You squint, Steel, and you can't tell. And that's on that freaking Decima engine, bro, that they just keep updating. Decima's been around, so it's one of the most amazing engines out there. I'm a Decima stan, so but it's almost photorealistic. It's crazy how good he is with that. Oh, God, man. So
Nixie, because he's asking when are the 2 segments coming back, upcoming games, and then this day in gaming. We just haven't been doing it because it's been more of a time thing. Me and Paul just been kind of on a roll because we don't get time to like catch up in the background. We typically are coming in hot, especially me. My work weeks, we've been coming in extra hot. So it's like us trying to catch up because we're like, this isn't like a show and it's just straight business. Like we actually like chopping it up and stuff like that. We can actually get in the conversation. And sometimes we just get sidetracked with conversation, just our chop or just talking about shit, bro.
That's the only 2 segments Nixie likes.
He says it's okay. I don't mind the 5-hour podcast. And again, it's not even like we intentionally make it that long either. So that's always the crazy thing for me. It's just, we don't get the time to catch up in the background. So we use this to kind of catch up, talk about things, because that's the part that I always enjoy because Paul is more of on the Grazer side. He is typically touching more games than I typically do. Am I playing through more games? Yeah, more times than not. But I also tend to stick with games, especially when there's a game that like has my attention. So I don't know. And there's just life's been all over the place, man. So trying to mentally and just trying to finagle stuff. But I definitely will. I'll bring it back for sure. Because I do think that was something that was integral to what we did, and let's just kind of stop doing it because it was just a lot. It took up a lot of time. So I'll definitely start bringing it back. Ducato says I think Living Split Screen should end the show with This Week in Gooner Games live play segment. What Gooner games we're gonna play?
Oh, I don't know. There's a couple smaller games coming out that are leaning into that. They're not like. It's not over the top, but they are. Which one did I have? Speaking of which, there was a demo. Oh God, man, what is it? Gotta find my demo.
Do something like
that. Yeah, we should do something like that. We should do upcoming Gooner games. That'd be freaking funny as hell. One game, keep your eye. If you're looking for, that Snow White one, Steel.
Oh, I think is that coming out soon?
That's coming out supposedly soon. They're getting closer and closer. They're on a tear advertising wise, but that Snow White one is really good. But Vanny Slash or Vanny Slash.
Oh, Vanny Slash. That one's coming out soon too?
Yeah. I got the demo on Steam. There was a demo on Steam for that one. So that one's coming. That's gonna be a hack and slash game as well. And then there's one other one I can't think of the name of though. But the Snow White one and this Vanny Slash. Those are the 2 ones that I'm looking forward to as well coming out. So that are leaning into the beauty kind of side of things.
Legendary Yobi asks, "What are your views on the Sony business meeting? It sounded and felt scripted. It was. So I guess that kind of leads into the stuff about Marathon being officially delayed. I guess.
Sure. With no date.
I don't think it's delayed indefinitely. Where do I want to hit this from? Yes, the business meeting did feel extremely scripted. You can tell that they were reading off of something, especially Herman Hulse, right? Now I haven't watched it verbatim outside of the marathon pieces, so I can't speak to the entire thing. I didn't expect to hear much else outside of, I did mention that Sony's strategy is obviously changing. They are looking at more multi-platform opportunities. I do think that's more PC related than anything, for sure. Again, like you see with Lost Soul Aside, that's going to be on PlayStation and PC day one. Are they going to do that with future titles? I don't know. We'll end up seeing. The God of War 2D Greek mythology game or whatever the case, that's apparently been delayed as well. Rumored to have been delayed. So that was supposed to come out this year apparently, and now it's going to be 2026. So between that and more so Marathon, for me, I find it interesting that they won't tell us exactly what they want to do with what's going to happen with that game. I do feel like they're trying very hard not to completely cancel the project, especially after some of their other projects have gone up to this point. Sony is on a losing streak. And again, if you don't want to consider that because those games haven't released, sure, it is what it is. Call it the price of business. I still think those are pretty expensive losses to take up to this point. And yeah, I do agree with you, Nick. I do think delaying Marathon is for the better, but delaying it into what? Right? I know they're planning on adding some more survival aspects to the Marathon. I don't think anybody was asking for that. I still don't think that Bungie gets the point. I don't even know if Bungie knows what they want to create. Again, with as many times that they've been having the issues with stealing art content and stuff like that, there seems to be also a heavy lack of leadership as far as that project goes. And I don't know if PlayStation is going to be able to provide that leadership to them other than telling them to get their stuff together. And if delaying the game is the best option that you feel in this moment, I don't feel confident in Sony making that decision. Sony couldn't override Bungie to tell them that maybe Last of Us could be something decent. Maybe they didn't have to make an entire live service team and flesh it out all these different ways. They did it once before. It didn't have to be this expansive thing. Again, yeah, that's going to be a pain point for me, but there's also been other in-house projects that were in development that they didn't follow through with. So it doesn't give me faith in anybody's decision-making as far as that goes. So how am I supposed to have the faith in what Marathon is going to be? This was the time for you to come out and try to really fix and right some wrongs. Again, this is just me as the consumer, as somebody who was a fan of Bungie. Or was a fan of more so of Bungie. And I want to be a fan of Bungie. I still want to play Marathon and get an idea of what the game plays like. But you're speaking into things like, oh, well, we're gonna add this and we're gonna add this. It's like you're talking about things that I necessarily don't care for. I was excited about this being a more PvP focused experience. And if you feel like you need to change it to make it something else, then great. I don't have any faith in what they're doing with that. But again, I don't have faith in PlayStation's direction right now. I mean, sure, continue to work on your PC front because that's where I'm going to access your content. And I will continue to wait however long I need to access that content. But there's no other games that's pulling me to you right now. Makes me want to get that hardware. That's me. I get other people feel differently. That business meeting definitely didn't put any faith in my pocket. If anything, it continues to solidify why I haven't invested in that platform or why I wait for something very particular to get me in there. And like Nixie said, why would we want to hear more BS? Because they're a dev studio. You got to tell your consumer what to expect. You came out confident. You can't go cower now. Oh, we stolen art. Why didn't you go hit those people up? One of your first things would have, if I was the head of that studio, I would have been like, yo, hit that person up and see what we can do to make something happen. Because it's too late for us to start pulling assets and shit like that. We need to incorporate them somehow. Now, if they don't want to be incorporated, and maybe that's what's happening, then I get you. Because if I was that artist, I'd be like, well, fuck, y'all fucked me this entire time. I don't want to do business with y'all. Or maybe not, because the typical person who gets an opportunity, who's been looked over this entire time, might have a chance to get an M. Maybe they get 5, maybe they get less than that. Maybe that's something they would have took. I'm not saying that they should. But you got to bring people on board. You got to say, "Oh, this is what we're going to do." Hey, September? Nah, we're not making September. But this is the direction that we want to make. Hey, this is all the things that we need to acknowledge. If what they did already is enough for you, then great. But knowing Bungie up to this point, I need to hear a little bit more from them. Because they have a history of just abandoning shit. Quote unquote. At least to me. But again, I'm coming from the PvP side of things as far as Bungie goes. And they're not trying to do Destiny 3 right now. And I get that Herman Hulst has nothing to do with PC. But he is part of the decision making. And they're bringing more games to PC. That's across the board. Just like Phil's being given the orders, right? So is Herman. Hey, Herman, these are your orders. Make it happen, Captain. Hey, get these guys together. Hey, Nixus, make sure they get enough people over there so we can do our next one. Yeah. What if the God of War 2 with side-scroller game ends up coming to PC as well? Day and date. Why can't it? Why? What if that's the reason why it was delayed? What other first-party games is on the horizon right now that is going to be able to fulfill their ecosystem outside of what you're getting from Xbox? If that works for them, then great, bro. But again, it's just that means it didn't do nothing. But it's not supposed to do nothing for me. So that's my thoughts on that. Nixie says no game will be abandoned again. You have to understand how that would look. That's why they all pull back in our level setting. I get you. Nixie says still, even if they realize something, you ain't missing anything anyway. True. I mean, again, it's all gonna be how you're taking it, how it impacts you, how you feel about it. I get passionate about Bungie because I feel like they're that talented dev, bro. Just
they were.
Nixie says, still, even if they released something, you ain't missing anything anyway. Oh, I mean, depending on what you're speaking to. As far as Marathon goes, I mean, again, I wanted to get into that beta, but my fault. What were you gonna say?
No. I was gonna say Bungie was a talented studio. So.
Oh yeah, no, they definitely were. Yeah, they're forming into that BioWare kind of thing right now. Like,
yeah,
what?
Exactly. No,
y'all are not what you used to be.
Bad bad leadership. Again, they focused on the wrong things. We've heard multiple stories now of problems at the top from devs themselves, right? That there was a whole lot going on. Whatever. Like, again, as far as the Sony business goes, it's business as usual for Sony. They don't have to do anything. They're not going to do anything. Their fans continue to defend them. Their fans are cool with what they've given them. Their fans are cool with third-party exclusives like Stellar Blade, etc. They're not going to do anything. Yeah, that's all you need. They're more than satisfied with the numbers as far as the consoles go. Again, whether or not they believe it outwardly, they are slow walking, as we said. Again, go back as much as I've been on board that Sony eventually will, do day and date. I always said that they were going to put out their own PC launcher first before they do that because they want all the money.
Yeah,
they'll try to compete with Steam.
Makes sense.
But the point being is that they're going to slow walk this. And I've said that all along, that Sony was never going to just flip a switch. I know a lot of Xbox fans were thinking that this was going to be they're just going to just roll right over and they're just going to do exactly what Xbox is doing. Oh, hell no. When they're selling consoles the way they are, and they're still happy overall with their performance, they've made more money this generation than any other generation, which is crazy to say because it doesn't feel like they've put out as much content, right? But the facts are the fact, profit-wise, profitability-wise, their business model-wise, they're selling and they've made more money. So they're going to continue to do what they do. And that's unfortunate because that means they will continue to buy up third-party exclusivity, which means games like Stellar Blade and Black Myth Wukong and stuff like that will miss other platforms like Xbox.
If the devs choose to play ball, because that's also been the opposite side.
Been a thing.
Where the devs are starting to be like,
no, absolutely, of course. And obviously, if they, again, that's why Xbox is, their next console. If they allow, we're going to be able to play PC games. Well, that'll kind of nullify some of that, obviously, as more games go to PC from third parties too. But I'm just talking about Sony directly. Sony's going to continue to do what they're doing because they're pretty happy with everything that's going on. They're obviously making big changes. They obviously canceled a bunch of stuff. They obviously looked It took a second and probably a third and a fourth look at their gaming divisions and the project that they had, and made some big decisions to cancel a bunch of the games of the service, go back to the drawing board with their studios. And now it's just a time, just like we talked about when Xbox didn't have first party studios making games. These studios are working on games. Now it's just a matter of time and when they're going to show them. And again, they don't have to. I've said this all along. I would love a showcase. I'd love to see what Sony's got going on, but they don't have to. And their fans just go, meh, we're good. Don't worry about it, Sony. So Sony's going to go, okay, we're just going to kick back and we'll just keep working away. And they'll eventually have another Hopes and Dreams showcase where they show a bunch of shit off and everybody gets super hyped again. It's the same cycle, man. It's the same cycle. I thought it was interesting that they already mentioned PS6 again, and did say that they were focused on the power aspect. So again, now that they know that Xbox is going in a different direction, power is going to matter again. And they're going to promote, they're going to have the most powerful home console, whether or not that means anything at the end of the day. It sounds like they're going to go back to that strategy again, which is fine. Again, as a console, they're going to go with a pure console.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
Do.
But yeah, no, they're happy. And like I said, they're not going to change what they do right now. I still am a little surprised that we have not heard of their PC launcher yet. I thought for sure they would have their PC launcher by now. And that is a little surprising to me. That's the one thing where I'm like, what are they doing? Why don't you have your own launcher so you can have your own storefront? Like, I can't believe it's that much work for you guys to get that done, but maybe it is. Maybe it truly is. Maybe they're doing something different with it. I don't know, but I would expect to see that sooner than later. So, and I will say, if they get their own PC launcher and storefront, they won't put it on the Xbox device. They will block it from the Xbox device. Watch.
Again, it just depends on how it's accessed. So you can't stop a PC. Again, if we get into a different conversation.
We're gonna get a conversation, but anyways, it's gonna be fun to watch this chess match if it turns out to be a chess match. If Sony just doesn't go, well, they're not competitors anymore, so we'll just sell our shit over there anyways. If they can access it, they can buy it. Who cares? We're just gonna sell our shit. We'll see. We'll see which way they go.
Again, I think at this point, let's see who's the better publisher.
Bold Alpha, the only thing that will entice people is that they will hold their first party games exclusive for a timed being, because they believe they can entice people with their first party titles. They will hold their games and launch their games first on their PC launcher, and they won't go to Steam for a year and a half, whatever the case may be. And then they'll launch their games delayed over there, or an Epic or GOG or whatever. But I'm just going to say Steam.
Epic's having a hard time with that right now, but PlayStation is different.
They're going to try it. I don't think it's going to be successful, but they're going to try it because it's 100% profits their way, right? They get everything. So that's what I think would happen. Yep.
Bold, but again, if they're able to churn out the quality that people are saying they're used to from PlayStation, then maybe they'll have the volume. Maybe they can cut enough deals. Maybe the brand power will work. I don't know. For me, it's interesting just because we see devs kind of stepping up to the plate. So,
hey, Nixie, again, there's a couple games that I certainly would buy if they were available, right? But nothing big. But that goes the other way too, Nixie. Forever, Sony fans said that there was no reason to buy any Xbox games because they're all trash. And now every time Xbox puts a game over there, it's at the top of their storefront, right? So it goes both ways, Nixie. It goes both ways.
Yeah,
so again,
top 3 games.
We all, Nixie, you, I, Steel, the gamer, we all know that shit's bullshit, right? Again, if you're a gamer, you want to play games. Again, has Sony put out anything personally this time around besides Returnal?
Which is on PC now.
Stellar Blade, which is now on PC. Horizon, which I'm a Horizon fan, but I still haven't played the new one, but that's now on PC as well. Those are the only games that they put out that I've been interested in this generation. So that's why
you didn't have to buy the box to get it.
Right.
As a matter of fact, you got a better version of it later. So
I'm just saying, even if I didn't have a PC, it still wouldn't make me go buy a PlayStation. Right? None of those games would make me go buy a PlayStation this time around. I've always been upfront. Xbox makes more games from their first party studios that I'm interested in. Right? That's point blank. But that's neither here nor
He
there.
said-
Both sides are
He said the
bullshit.
streets are saying PS has no games. That's all I hear from middle-aged YouTubers.
Right.
It's crazy.
And you know, Nixie, that's what was said about Xbox. And they wouldn't let Xbox get credit. That's what I was talking about before, Nixie. Again, this is turnabout is fair play. The rules have been leveled. However ridiculous you think these conversations are, it's the same things that we call ridiculous. It's all ridiculous. When Xbox was getting third-party deals for Game Pass and giving us games when they weren't having their first-party studios produce games,
21,
that's
22?
all that was said. That's all that was said. Xbox got no games. This is just turnabout as fair play. Xbox fans are just getting back at the PlayStation fans. That's all. This console war bullshit, man. That's why I've always said it's childish. It's nonsense.
Oh, God.
It's garbage, but whatever. And again, I don't blame them for years. This goes before the series consoles. This goes back to the Xbox One generation when Xbox had no games, right? Xbox fans, their fanboys are just getting a little bit of payback on the PlayStation fans because PlayStation's first party studios aren't producing the way that they used to. That's all. Not saying that Sony doesn't be cutting the deals, but third party games didn't count for Xbox. So Xbox fans are saying third party games don't count for PlayStation either.
Which I think is fair. Which I think is fair in that scope of things.
Yep.
Again, I've always looked at it differently, but that's me. This is way so there's
no, Nixie, the rules have been made. The rules have been made. No, that's what's changing right now across the board in society. We're not going to do this whole thing where one side can be one way and then go, we're going to hold ourselves to a higher standard, and we're not going to do that. And that one side continues to crush and cheat and lie and do all sorts of nasty shit while the other side holds themselves to a higher standard. That shit's done because that shit don't work. Then you're going to be constantly, if you're on the side holding yourself to a higher standard than everybody else while the other side does everything bullshit.
You're so stupid.
You're going to lose. You're going to lose time and time again. So yeah, we're not doing that. So no, it is more than at this point. Absolutely. If the fanboys, the Xbox fanboys want to have at the Sony fanboys for this shit right now, they can. I get it. All that shit's nonsense, but whatever. They can go ahead.
Yeah, Nick, it's one of those things, and anybody out there, it's one of those things to where it's okay to have to have fun.
I don't.
Right. I don't engage with it actively. Pong doesn't engage with it actively. I know some will throw us shots every now and then, and have a good time with it. Right. It's just, I don't know, man. I stand on the side that I believe in, and I will continue to express my thoughts and my opinions on how I feel things are going. I think everybody else should do the same, and not then look at the person that you're having a conversation with and say that they're stupid. I just and that's what it always gets to. Like, we're at a point where people are literally giving smoke to each other. Like, it gets beyond just being funny. Like, you're like, oh, you're judging people's entire lives based off of whatever, and it's like, dog, we're talking about games. We're gonna play the games, get together or not. But once it gets deeper than that, like, it turns into something else. But as far as, like, I mean, again, I've said from day one, I'm an Xbox fan. Do I care about gaming in totality? Yeah, I've said that from the very beginning as well, right? I've been playing on PC for as long as I've been able to play on PC. Again, I say Windows 95. I remember playing Doom back in the day. MDK on PC back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, I had options. I became a console gamer more so because I was a kid who was transitioning over. I grew up in the multiplayer era, so you know where I was at. On Xbox doing things. Microsoft has demonstrated to me that they cared about my dollar. Not saying that PlayStation didn't in some ways. They just had to work harder for it. And just like Phil mentioned, the Xbox One generation was the worst generation for them to lose because win or lose, people chose their library. And at that point, you were choosing where your friends were as well. And it's my generation now who has who they were pitching to, who has the money to spend. And a lot of people are going to pick the popular brand. Because the popular brand had the better games from the objective standpoint. How people saw it. The type of style games that they were making. It was different. Movie-like. Oh, man, it's the best it's ever been. Meanwhile, people were saying that certain games just weren't up to snuff. So It's all about, you can have fun with it. Have fun with it, man, but just don't. Shit going personal is weird. And I think you could be like, again, and I think that's the other thing too that me and Paul always speak to. Like, there's the grayness of it. Like, two things can be true. I could be a fan of Xbox and want Sony to do better, or want certain things out of another brand or out of the gaming industry, or like, what were you gonna say, Paul? Out on this one.
No. I mean, again, it's
what up, Mishi?
It's right. It's round and round and round, and we go again with the shit.
Yeah,
again,
of course.
There's just,
of course.
I think that most people could watch fanboy content and understand the difference between having a good time and getting personal. Unfortunately, that gets always mixed up. And unfortunately, nowadays, again, I don't have the energy for it. And I don't care. I make my statements here about it and on shows, but that's it. Like during the week, unless I'm really looking for something, I don't even see it. I've got everything blocked.
Yeah.
Like, flat out. Like
I don't have a block. So I believe in
I got to mute it.
I got to
mute it. No, exactly. And so I will go search for it sometimes just to see what the other side's saying. But the minute I start hearing it, I just know it's nonsense. There are certainly discussions from different points of view that is not console warring. I don't think that everybody who disagrees or has a problem with what Xbox is doing or has a problem with PlayStation is doing is a fanboy. That's different. Again, I don't consider myself a fanboy, even though I prefer Xbox this generation. I don't consider myself a fanboy. Again, I was a Sega fanboy. That was the last time I was ever a fanboy. I don't hate PlayStation and I don't dislike them. I wish they would have made more games that appealed to me, but that's just not what they do. So that's okay. But I'm still going to criticize them, but it doesn't make me a fanboy because I'll criticize Xbox too, and I've been called a pony bot. So I just think that most people understand the difference, but nowadays, for the hardcore, that shit is always personal. And people can, say, oh, it's not that serious, bro. It's not that serious,
of course.
Bro. Again, whether you are straight up insulting to somebody and personal to somebody, or whether you hide it behind sarcasm, doesn't change that it's fucking personal. Okay. And you are taking it as serious as the other person is. You just give yourself an out to try to look like you try to give yourself an out to look like it's not you, but it's you, bro. Again, that's like that shit's nonsense. And now we see people getting shot over this shit. So whatever. I'm done. I'm done.
Ghost Wolf says, I'll be honest, I wish I had a salt segment. It's just not my thing, bro. Like I'm not. I'll discuss a point. I'll discuss a point. I think I like that part of it. That part of React content when people are going back and forth with different ideals. Like, hey, this person said this. I'm going to because you're having a conversation. You're going back and forth. That's why it's always so weird to me when people are like, oh, I don't like you reacting to my content. Now, people who do it disingenuously is one thing, but it's another thing if somebody's like, I'm giving you just feedback on your opinions, bro. Like, you're not just about to speak into the ether online and think that nobody's about to say nothing to you. If you just want an echo chamber, then have an echo chamber. That's why I made the statement that I made this week. I'm not here for echo chambers, dog. Like, I want to hear different people's opinions, but I also do feel certain ways about certain things. And when certain people move in a weird way, and again, because we all come from different walks of life, we all have our own expectations. Again, I maintain everything that I do on here in real life. So it's like, what you see is what you get. Just make sure that you maintain the same energy, dog, across everything that you do. And if you don't, you put on a mask, you put on a character, you're clowning on folks, you getting personal. I hear you, bro. I don't have time to sit in Discord with folks all day long. I don't have time to be in party with folks all day long. I got things that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a dad. I'm trying to play games. I'm trying to, express myself more in the hobby, put my voice out there more. Like, when you're trying to actively do things, along with trying to help you bettering yourself in the background as well. Like, I just don't see. I don't know. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. Again, I like having a good laugh sometimes. People who do it, in a way that I feel like is tasteful, I guess. Again, to each their own. Everybody's to each their own. He says there's one on every slanted show. Every single one of them, they would have you believe that one company is collecting unemployment benefits. You stupid. Nixie says, I find it fascinating when someone calls out disingenuous people, then return the vibe. Very fascinating. Yeah, I can feel that. Ghost says, y'all rants are good, so that would be great. We'll just be expressing ourselves the best way we can. Bold says, PS canceled more games this gen for the PS5 than they published on it. However you want to slice it, this was PS weakest gen. So far, I think so. I definitely think they could have went harder. I wanted to see a little bit more. Have them have a little bit more faith in things. Things didn't have to be exactly what they were trying to anticipate or trying to make it to be. Bolt also says people grow and ideals change way of thinking, but the things Xbox was criticized for, PS can't slide on. That's how I feel. It's just that the consistency with it there, right? Again, if it's always going to go to, Microsoft's the biggest corporation, so this shouldn't be a thing for them. I mean, but it is. And there's documentaries demonstrating and talking about what actually went on in the background and can describe to you and give you more information on why things the way that they are. Like, people make it seem like Xbox had all the money and all the backing of Microsoft since 2001. And that's just that's not truth or reality. Xbox is now is a center point in business. Gaming is now a center point in business for them. Who would have thought about that in 2001? People were like, what is this Xbox in 2001? If it wasn't for Halo, like, what else did you have? Except, the other innovative things, hard drives, Ethernet. So, Microsoft definitely does need to work on their service for sure. I definitely hear you on that. Lydia says ahead of Windows. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, again, they're pushing the boundary. Now they're working together. This is the thing that they were avoiding back in the day. The Windows team didn't want to work with the Xbox team, with the gaming division. And now they're hand in hand. What if because of this in AI, they're able to push the next boundary? What do we want to see? Anyway. Well, don't have nothing else to add on there. I am winding down, so I'm going to go ahead and call it there. Paul, was there anything else on the back end that you wanted to add on as we end up rolling on out of here, man? Good show, nonetheless.
Sir.
All over the place. Music topic to start it off nice and passionate. Like, it was a good conversation. Along with some of the other things, talking about what Sony has going on, talking about the games that we're playing, how the industry continues to be interesting in many different ways. Decado says Stiller Yams Gooner live. Oh yeah, you already know. Hopefully I get you a good angle. But yeah, man, good show.
I don't think they want to see your yams.
You don't need to see.
Yeah, you got to cosplay like Eve while you're playing it.
No, that's a big negative. That is a big negative. No, we're not doing all that. Now it's getting weird in here.
It's always weird, man.
No, it's not weird until you get naked. So. All right,
Let's go.
Chat. Is there anything else that you would like for us to touch on as we start rolling on out of here? Greatly appreciate y'all coming back through again, taking that week off, but starting with episode 191 of Living Split Screen, keeping it live, raw, and uncut in this golden age of gaming, as we like to say. I think it was a good time, man. Gaming Corporation's communication interviews are always scripted. You stupid. Well, good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you continue to stay tuned in as more content comes down into the channel. Again, whether it's on Living Split Screen, whether it's on my personal channel, definitely check it out. Doing more lunches with Steel. Probably going to do it through on my off weeks too, while I eat something throughout the week, just to kind of keep a steady stream of content. Continues to get me on the ball rolling, kind of thinking on the fly, give some ideas, because there's some stuff that I'd be like thinking to myself when I be listening to other people, or just in the moment where I just go on a tangent You're sitting there thinking to yourself about, oh, what if things just go this way? And I like to get those thoughts out there more. So, and again, it's a self-development thing too. I think it's going to be dope to see. Continue to work on some video editing in the background as well, potentially. Although I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Again, that's why I'm doing things off the phone the way that I am. Just, hit that button, upload, and go from there. See what happens. But you can follow me, Steel Rain. That T is a 7 everywhere. Google's the easiest place to type that information in. Other than that, every Saturday morning, right here, we'll live a split screen, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. UK time, 3 hour plus. Guaranteed, almost damn near at this point. Definitely check us out there. Audio content usually goes up on Sundays, but if not, Monday for sure, bare minimum. And other than that, great show with you guys. But Paul, get these beautiful people out of here. Let them know where they can find you, man. And again, another good episode, bro.
Beautiful episode, sir. Great to be back on a Saturday morning again. Miss you all so freaking much when we don't have our shows like normal. So it was great to be back here, and brother, great to catch up with you, man. We both got a lot going on, so it was just great to chop it up in the background and then obviously come live. And again, sorry I threw his curveball early, man. With a little music talk. Sorry for everybody tuning in the future that's going, I thought this was a gaming podcast. What the hell are we doing here debating music genres for? Hey, listen. We have a good time, and it was great. It was awesome to start the show off and just get that energy flowing. And thanks, Steele, again for you working and then coming into the show. Like I said, bro, it's crazy that you come in with so much for 4 hours. I can't believe you make it this long. So appreciate you, brother. Chat. Awesome to see all the familiar faces come back and say hi to us. Love you each and every week, man. This is why we do it. Again, without you guys, we are nothing. So nothing but love and respect, and love the conversations that you guys have going on, whether we agree or disagree or somewhere in the middle. I think it's awesome. That's what it's all about. That's why we started this whole damn thing. So appreciate you all. Listen, you guys know how to find me, Pong Soul, everywhere. You guys know that I'm down to basically 2 shows at this point, because this week coming up, we should have Fun Spec back in the mix on Thursdays. Again, it's not going to be PM into PM like it was. Mavs only do 1 show a week. I'm going to give him the captain's chair back. I know he joked about me taking the captain's chair. Bro, it's his channel. He gets 1 show a week to talk. I'm giving him the captain's chair back. We're going to have some of the family roll through. Whoever's available, you'll see come through. And we're going to have a awesome time on Thursday. So be there. I believe it should be 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central Time on Thursday. And then back here, God willing, with this man right here for another episode next Saturday of Living Split Screen. It is the golden age of gaming, people. So please keep enjoying those games. It's summer officially. So get out there and also enjoy summer and play what you love. Love what you play. And I'm going to talk to you all real soon. See you later. Steel, get us out of here, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, thank you for joining us on episode 191 of Living Split Screen, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.